entire row and hit that OK button over here. And let's adjust this, and you see in the fraction of seconds we have removed a blank space inside the Excel. I hope you enjoyed this. Don't forget to subscribe us. Thanks for watching. Have a great day ahead.
Here is our UAE shipment file. There is a one important difference. Our text file is a tab limited. So instead of commas separating the fields, I'll add a import. Okay, so let's say import text. And that's how I've added as a import text over here. Perfect. I'll provide the file path over here. So the path over here. Okay. And then once again, open the file over here. Go again over here. You need this text document over here. Right click over here. Perfect. Let's say rename, copy this. Okay. And let's say paste over here. Paste everything. And once it is done, let's say txt in a small letter, double inverted comma like this. And let's say comma. Okay, so here is a delimiter. It's been asked over here. Okay, so we have to, let's say this character. Okay, so character number I need only 9. Okay, so let's say this particular case I want this characters which is 9 over here. Okay, and once it is done, I will just add as a enter button over here, and boom, you see the magic over here, right? So whatever data set we were looking for, we got this result available over here inside the Excel using the simple formula in the Excel file. Perfect. And here what I want over here is I want a import CSV first. Okay, let's say import CSV. Perfect. The moment you do, simply add the path over here. Okay, so let's say this, paste everything, enable. Okay, so this is the overall file for me. Okay, so what type of file we need? So file name, we have to search it again. Perfect. So I'll just go here. This is the CSV. So that's what I'm just renaming this. Copy this. Perfect. I'll paste it over here. Paste everything. Okay. And let's say dot CSV. Okay. Once it is done, I'll just do a double inverted comma over here, and I'll close this bracket over here. Perfect. And I'll hit the enter button over here. It will take some time to load. And the moment it's done, we will get a result added over here.
Hey God, 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 hey
Further analyze this kind of a data which is available inside the Excel, what I have to do over here is I have to type this data set like this, the digits over here. Okay. And if I move ahead, I have to go here manually type this entries. Why we are doing this? Because this data set into a image format over here. Okay. It's a time consuming task inside the Excel when we extract a text like this from the image. Okay. There is a one workaround with me which will save you a lot of time. Okay. How to do it? It's very simple task. First of all, you have to save this image on your desktop or maybe any other documents. Okay. Once you do that, create a new sheet over here. Go at the top, data. There is an option available, small icon, picture from file. Simply click on this option. Okay. The moment you click on this option, you will get a pop-up like this. Okay. In my case, I have saved this file over here. Okay. In this particular image section, if I increase the size over here, you will see this preview available over here, right? Simply select this and insert it over here. Okay. It will take some time to reconcile overall. Okay. I'll just show you how exactly it looks. So it is preparing our exactly the data, what exactly it is, and showing us the exact image over here. Okay. If I scroll it at the bottom, here is the review. Basically, it's showing us. I'll not really worry about the review as such for now. I'll simply hit the insert data and insert anyways over here. Boom. You see the fraction of second, instead of typing the each entry manually, we got this result added over here. Okay. Now I can analyze any kind of data and it's a free form. I can use it inside the Excel. I hope you enjoyed this. For more Excel tips and tricks, don't forget to subscribe to Discover Talent. Thanks for watching. Have a great day ahead. inside the Excel, suppose you have a daily resume activity, you have to translate this into a specific language. What you do usually, we just copy this. Okay, we go on Google or like this. Okay, so I'll just say translate.google.com over here, translate.google.com over here, and we copy that text like this and we paste it over here. Okay, the moment we do, we get this kind of a translation available over here. Okay, and as and when we have to do this kind of an activity, okay, like this, if I do a copy and paste over here, then I get a appropriate result like this. Okay, what if I told you, instead of doing this manual task inside the Microsoft Excel, you can do this. Okay, let me just quickly show you how. First, you have to open your data set like this, whatever data set we have right now. Simply go at the top, review. There is an option available called translate over here. Okay, you either press Alt Shift F7 or maybe simply press translate over here. The moment you do, you will see this pop-up available over here. Okay, let me just keep it like this. And here I'm just selecting this entire text over here. The moment I select that, I can see this entire translation has been done. Fraction of seconds, right? If I want to change this, I can see the male and female here. The translation has been available over here. You can see this as well. Here there are n numbers of languages available. You can check as per your own convenience and use it. I hope you enjoyed this. Don't forget to subscribe us. Thanks for watching. Have a great day ahead.
La 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 la. La 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 la. La 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 la.
Macro, okay, which is available over here. So it's a one-time activity. You just have to simply record your macro, and as and when you get this kind of a data sheet like this, you just have to simply play that macro and your data get clean over here. First, turn on this developer ribbon tab. Comment in the below section, I'll help you with the steps so you can also learn how to turn on this developer ribbon tab. Okay, having said that, let's start cleaning the data over here. Simply click on this option called record macro over here. The moment you do, let's say this clean data, in case you want to add the shortcut key, simply just go here and add the shortcut key and go for it. I'll just say OK button over here, and let's select this first. Okay, appropriate font over here. I'll just simply go here and let's say Times New Roman over here, and if I go here, I'll just change this size like this. Perfect. Select this, adjust this properly. Okay, the moment it's done, I'll just adjust this from rows as well. Okay, so let's say this again, formatting, remove bold. Okay, so once it is done, I can see certain formatting as well, which is a color code over here. Let's click on this option, no fill over here. Okay, go here, alignment, let's say this. Perfect. I'll just now setting up the appropriate formatting, which is a data type over here. Select this, let's go here, let's say centrally align. Perfect. Here I'll select a data type called short date over here. Okay, so this is the short date for me. I'll arrange this again. Let's make it centrally align properly. Cool. Anything else is to be done over here. I'll simply select this and let's say centrally align. Remove the line and let's say no border over here. Perfect. And this has been no border. Let's select this as well. And let me just apply this color code and simply go at the top and record this macro. I'll just pause it and close it over here. Let's say save script, back out from this. Perfect. And then that's how I have saved this. Now I have this another Excel over here. I'll just move this if this works over here. Okay, so you can see this has been added over here. Data has been added over here. Your earlier data was like this, and this is the latest one, right? So now we want to run this macro over here. Okay, so simply I'll just minimize this again. and I'll simply hit the run button over here. The moment I do a run over here, you will see at a fraction of seconds, my data get clean over here. Okay, let me just close this and keep it like this. Perfect. You see how beautifully we have automated our task, and you can see we got this result then and there. I hope you enjoyed this. Don't forget to subscribe us. Thanks for watching. Have a great day ahead. You want to remove a duplicate over here, and you selected this particular column over here. You go at the top in data, and there is an option available called remove duplicate over here. The moment you hit that option, you will see this pop-up available over here. Okay, so when you say expand the selection over here and let's say remove duplicate, you will see this kind of an option, and then when you press OK, you will see no duplicate values are found. Okay, so it's a incorrect way to select a data like this and do a remove duplicate. Here what you have to do, first select this entire date like this. Okay, so this is how the data you have to select. The moment it's done, let's go at the top. Okay, and you can see now you don't have this option available, that single selection or maybe the expand selection. It got this pop-up where the columns is mentioned and its option available, which is my data has a table headers available. If in case you don't have these headers available, simply uncheck it, so it will consider all the data like this. Okay, if in case you have this headers available inside the data set, simply turn this option on over here. Okay, the moment I'm turning this off, turning on, you can see this preview has been changed over here. You don't have to remember this setting as such, but here you can see the preview, what type of data you are selecting. You have to remember that. You have to simply press on this option, and now you see 6 duplicate values has been found and removed 44 and removed. Okay, 44 unique values remain. Note that count may include empty cells and spaces too. Let's say okay, and now you have a without duplicate values available over here. Even if you want to double check, simply select that all, go at the top. Okay, and let's apply this as a duplicate value over here. Cool. So if you see this particular table, if you go like this, this is not a duplicate value. Only the specific column is a duplicate, not entire data. And that's how beautifully you can work with a spreadsheet using this remove duplicate option. I hope you enjoyed this. Don't forget to subscribe us. Thanks for watching. Have a great day ahead. Inside the Excel, how we can turn on the Claude AI. Okay, let's quickly look at it over here. So here you can see this is the dashboard available over here. We are not going to create a dashboard again over here. I'm just going to simply explain how to activate Claude AI inside the Excel over here. Cool. So if in case you have missed our series to generate a dashboard, feel free to use this particular link given at the top. Simply go there and watch the entire video, which is available on YouTube. Cool. So here you can see this option available called Claude AI. The moment I hit that, I can see this pop-up is available over here. I just have to simply do a login over here, or maybe if in case not a logged in yet, simply do a sign up over here. Now how I got this option over here? Very simple task over here. Simply go here in developer ribbon tab. Okay, click on add-ins over here. The moment you click on this option, there is an option available called store over here. Okay, when you click on that option store, there is a option available. Simply type Claude. Okay, let's say Claude over here, and then search over here. You will see this options available over here. Okay, you have to simply click on this option called Claude by Anthropic for Excel and simply add that option over here. Moment you do that, you just simply have to go here, and in the home ribbon tab you will see this Claude AI has been available over here. Please note this Claude AI only works on this particular options, which is Pro, Max, Team and Enterprise plan. Okay, if in case you don't have this kind of a plan, then this Claude AI will not really work in the Excel. You have to buy these licenses to utilize Claude AI inside the Excel. Right now we don't have any kind of an upgradation over here. That's what we are not able to use that. If in case you have this particular plan, you can simply activate Claude AI inside the Excel, shine in your workplace. Thanks for watching. Have a great day ahead.
Welcome back to the screen, folks. We are back again. Here we are going to use a Claude AI inside the Excel. Okay, how to do it? It's a very simple task to do. Open in the browser Claude AI, which is this Claude.ai, And this is the new chat section for me. Again, we are using the free plan over here. And this time we're gonna attach the file over here. Okay. Inside the file, what is the fields we have? I'll just explain it over here. The shipment ID, customer name, country, weight, okay, shipping cost over here. Okay. Once it is done, what I'm going to do over here is I'll just simply move my cursor to this.ai over here. And I'll type this prompt over here. Okay. What I will do over here is I have attached the Excel workbook containing shipment, customs data, and this prompt I'll give you ready available over here. On the YouTube, you just have to simply press prompt. So let's wait for it and see the result over here. Okay. So it's generating a Excel VBA shipment and custom dashboard for us. Okay. Protect your workbook have a so and so data. Okay. Complete VBA code over here. And these are the instructions that's been given over here inside the Excel. If in case you are not really sure how to use that, the simple steps has been given over here by the Claude AI over here. You can see it over here, right? I'll just go at the bottom and let me just download this VBA over here. Okay. Simply click on download. Okay. I have the downloaded code now. Now what I will do over here is I'll just go at the top. Here it's saying open the Excel and press Alt F11 over here. Okay. So let's go here and move to the cursor over here. There are 3 steps to navigate through. Okay. You either press Alt F11 to get the VBAs. Okay. Or maybe developer tab at the top. Okay, which we already covered. And here there is an option available, view code over here. I'll simply click on this option, which is view code, which I feel very easily over here. Okay, here insert, there is an option available, insert model option. Simply click on this option. Here you can see this model has been created over here. So let me just right click over here, edit in notepad. Whatever code you got it, right? So simply paste that. Those are just a commentary for me, not really required. Good. And simply click on this option, Excel, and this is the Excel right now. We are seeing it over here. If I go at the top again and click on this option and run it right now, and let's say build a dashboard over here, I'll say run. That's the beauty of Claude AI, folks. I really loved it and thoroughly enjoyed it. Okay. If you need this data set, again, comment in the below section. I'll help you with the data set so you can also learn along with me more Excel tips, tricks, and tutorials. Don't forget to subscribe us. Thanks for watching. Have a great day ahead. Supply chain teams spend hours creating forecast, creating reorder points, and checking stock level manually. Okay. Here you can see I have this open data available, month, SKU, product, warehouse, opening stock, sales, lead time analysis, supplier, and unit cost over here. Okay, let me just arrange this first. And once I do that, I'll simply press Ctrl T over here. The moment I do, you can convert this data into a table over here. Okay, you either press Ctrl T or maybe go at the top here and click on this option table over here. Okay, the moment you do that, let's hit the enter button over here. Okay, now your data into a table available over here. Cool. I'll just arrange this Excel like this. Okay, otherwise you will not able to see this option, which is Copilot over here. Analyze the inventory data set and forecast demand for next 3 months. We're gonna use a simple prompt over here. Okay, so let me just add a prompt over here and let me just read it out for you. Analyze this inventory data set, forecast demand for the next 3 months over here for each SKU. Calculate the expected ending inventory and so on and so forth, right? And to also help us to create a professional dashboard along with a KPIs, charts, and conditional formatting over here. Okay. Also, it's saying that I let the risk factor as well. Okay. The moment it's done, I'll just hit the enter button over here. It will take some time to analyze. I'll just do a fast forwarding over here to give you the accurate result over here. I've seen that we haven't used any pivot tables, no VBAs. Okay. Also, no Power Query there, right? Simply just a natural English we have typed as a AI prompt in the Copilot, and we got this dashboard created for the supply chain. And that's how we have prepared the dashboard today. If you are learning Excel, data analytics, or automation related activities, if you want to know more about Excel, data analytics, and automation, don't forget to subscribe us. Thanks for watching. Have a great day ahead.
Are you still using sum ifs or pivot table inside the Excel to analyze your expenses? Here inside the Excel using Copilot, now we are going to analyze our expense report over here. Okay, so inside the screen you can see, okay, so let me just arrange this first so you can see entire details over here. Date, category, description, payment mode, and the amount over here. So once it is done, let's press Ctrl T from your keyboard. The moment you press that, you will get this pop-up available, which is your create table over here. Or your data is converted into a table over here. Here there is a small option available called Copilot data, add a data insights, improve formatting, and add a formula over here. Okay, so our table name is the table 2 over here. I'll simply add the prompt over here. Okay, simply click on this option, click on the table over here. Okay, and here I'll add this prompt over here, summarize my expense by category and show the total spending over here. Okay, the moment it's done, it will take some time to analyze your data. Perfect. Once it is done, I can see the result added over here, the report over here. I'll close this and you can see how beautifully the data has been presented over here, which is my expense summary over here. I'll click on this option, the second prompt over here, pivot table showing a total expenses by category over here. The moment I hit that, it will again analyze the entire rows and columns over here, and it will start preparing the data for me. The result over here, I'll just say done over here, and here cool, and now I can see this data has been shown over here, which is my pivot table. I want to create a column chart based on the pivot table over here, right? So I'll just select this, whatever pivot table we have created, and then let's click on this option. So it will generate a chart for us. I can see my chart is getting added over here, right? Use this because it's already generated over here. I can see that. Fourth prompt, I will add simply identify the highest expense category and provide me 3 money saving recommendation over here. Cool. So let's type this and wait for it, what type of results and the analysis we get it through the expenses summary report from us, right? Highest expenses 18,000, so on and so forth, right? Let's say done over here, and the moment it's done, I will simply move this cursor over here. I'll close this. The beautiful analysis done by the Copilot inside the Excel, folks. Okay, and the last one, which is the most important prompt, I would say. Now here, click on this table first, and I'm going to type this. Write one paragraph executive summary of my spending. Okay, perfect. And once it is done, let's hit the done over here, and you see this is the executive summary. I can see over here your current spending pattern shows a strong concentration in housing related cost. More Excel, AI, automation and analytics related tutorial. Don't forget to subscribe, discover talent. Thanks for watching. Have a great day ahead. Cool. So on demand, we are back here. And since we have the data set available like this, length, width, this is the category. So category is for 2 products over here. We have laptop and the LCD over here. Now what we're gonna do, we're going to this data into a table first. Okay, so let's say Control T and then convert this into a table. Perfect. We are back here now. I'll just move this spreadsheet little bit down there. Okay, so you can see where exactly this option is available, and whenever I'm applying the formula, so you can also understand what exactly I'm doing at the same time, right? So let me just adjust this properly. Cool. And this is how the spreadsheet I have adjusted. This is the data set, and at the top the ribbons has been adjusted likewise. At the top there is an option available in formula section, insert Python over here. Okay, you either go here and click on this option and work on the Python. Here the best option, since you are using the Excel, always use formulas, okay, for Pythons as well. Okay, so what you have to do and how you have to do is simply add is equal to, let's say, py over here. Okay, and when you call your table in a specific name, okay, you can simply call that name over here. Okay, so here I'll first say name as a first, I'll give the random name over here. Let's say discover talent over here. Okay, is equal to, okay, you just have give the data frame over here. We are calling the data frame over here discover talent, and then what I'm going to do over here is I'll say Excel. Okay, inside the Excel, what I need this table 1 over here. Okay, if in case your table name is equipment or maybe any different name altogether, you can simply select that, and the moment it's done, what you have to do over here is press Control and enter over here. It will show you a busy, and then it is showing now a data frame over here. Now your data is properly running on the Python environment over here. Okay, so if I go at the bottom over here, I just move this now data here, and what I will do over here is what I have called this as, I'll call this as a discover talent. So, okay, simply copy this, the name. Okay, let's go here, and here I will call this as a py. Cool. And let's say discover talent, and dot over here, let's say describe. Okay, simply add that describe and close this over here. Once it is done, simply press Control Enter over here. The moment it's done, it will show you the result like this. Okay, and here I'll simply click on this option and I'll add this data model over here. Okay, so click on this option, array preview over here. Boom, you see the magic over here. Cool. You got the count, you got the mean, standard deviation, okay, first quartile, second quartile, and max over here. Okay, and that's the beauty of Excel, folks. Okay, you can use Python inside the Excel now. I hope you enjoyed this. For more Excel tips and tricks, don't forget to subscribe Discover Talent. Here I have added the sum over here. Okay, quantity into unit price, and this is the total sales. Likewise, just a random value as a calculation, I have added this as an average over here. Okay, now here at the top formulas, there is an option available, trace precedents, okay, and trace dependents, okay, and the remove arrow. Likewise, we have the other options available, which is show formula, error checking, and at the end evaluate formula over here. Okay, I want to understand from which particular value is taking the sum over here. Okay, so I'll simply click on this option, trace precedents. Okay, so I can see this and this value getting into, and then I'm getting the result over here. Likewise, if I want to check for this, I'll click on this option. I can see this values available over here, right? That's the beauty of formula auditing inside the Excel, folks. Now the trace dependence over here. The moment I hit that option, I can see the value like this. It shows arrows that indicate which cells are affected by the value of the currently selected cell. Okay, you can use this shortcut or navigate to dependence of selected cells over here. Okay, so if I select this and again click on this option, I can see dependence like this. Okay, even this as well. If I select this and click on this option, I can see this overall dependence like this. Okay, if I want to remove the entire arrows, I can simply click on this option, remove arrows, and it will automatically delete all the arrows. Okay, if I want to only remove a precedence, I'll simply click on this option, remove arrows precedence over here. I want to remove a dependence over here. Likewise, I can remove that. If I want to clean all, I'll simply click on this option, remove arrows, and I can see the entire arrows has been gone over here. Perfect. Now at the top, there is an option available, show formula. The moment I click on this option, you can see this entire spreadsheet has been expanded like this. Okay, I'll just move this over here and you will see the formula over here. Okay, there is an option available, error checking. Suppose there is an error. Okay, I will intentionally add this to check the error value over here. I'll click on this option, error checking over here. Here I will get a pop-up available, error in cell S9. Okay, so here you can see S9 over here, right? And that's the beauty of Excel, folks. The option called evaluate formula. The moment I hit that, I can see this evaluate formula tab has been open over here. Evaluate this. I'm getting a JKKJ, and then this is the into. So this is the bug for us, right? And this is the evaluation we have to identify. So basically we have to go to S9 over here in this particular section, wherever we have applied this formula. Okay, basically I will update this 78 over here, and I can see now the result over here. Okay, that's how you will use the formula auditing tool inside the Excel. I hope you enjoyed this. For more Excel tips and tricks, don't forget to subscribe us. Thanks for watching. Have a great day ahead.
Did you know Excel can instantly identify outliers? Let me show you one of the most powerful chart inside the Excel. Here I have the employee salary data. Okay, so you can see this is the employees, David, Emma, John, so and so, right? What I'm going to do over here is first I'll select this one. Okay, at the top insert, there is an option available called recommended chart. Simply click on this option. Okay, the moment you click on this option, there is two options available. One is recommended chart and another is the all charts. You have to simply click on this option called all charts over here, and then click on this option called box and whisker. The moment you select this, you can see this chart is available, and this is the preview over here. Let's hit the enter button over here. You can see how beautifully we have imported a box and whisker over here. Excel automatically shows the minimum, first quartile, median, and the third quartile, maximum, and even the outliers. I'll just turn on this data labels over here. Perfect. And the moment I turn that on, you can see the result. It's been reflected over here. Now, in case you want to see only for the specific data set, what I will do, I'll just change the range over here and change the data range like this. The entire data get changed like this. Okay, why we are doing this? To understand exactly how to read this kind of a data over here. Okay, if I hover my mouse over here, you will see the values available over here. In this particular example, David, for third quartile over here, notice this employee's earning, right? 42,000 over here. Excel immediately identifies it is an outlier. Okay, this chart is widely used in statistics, HR analytics, salary analysis, healthcare quality control, and data science. I move my cursor like this, you can see the mean over here. Even if I move further ahead, you can see this is the overall mean available over here, which is my average, right? Follow Discover Talent for more hidden Excel charts. I hope you enjoyed this. Don't forget to subscribe us. Thanks for watching. Have a great day ahead. Let me just quickly show you 5 important charts inside the Excel. Okay, on the screen, there are different samples I have added over here, and we're going to create a different charts inside the Excel over here. So first I'll select this data over here. I'll go at the top, recommended chart over here, and then all charts. There is an option available inside the surface itself. I'll simply use this contour chart over here and I'll hit the enter button over here. The moment I hit that, I can see this contour chart has been inserted over here. And this is helpful to analyze our data like this. You can change the data elements basis the about design. I mean, if in case you want to change the color code, you can simply change that as well. Cool. Now let's move ahead. Next one, I'll select this data set over here. I'll go at the top, recommended chart. I'll select the radar chart this time. Okay. And let's see what type of radar you want to select it. Okay. I'll select this field radar and I'll select this particular option and I'll hit the enter button over here. Beautifully, we have imported this chart inside the Excel over here. Cool. Now the third one, we're gonna add a waterfall chart over here. Okay. So this is kind of a data set. I have it over here with me, category, amount, okay, sales, discount, operating cost, marketing, and profit over here. Okay. I'll go at the top, recommended chart. Cool. And I'll simply click on this option, waterfall. The moment I hit that, you can see how beautifully data has been presented over here. Okay. At the time of infographics, this kind of a visualization will really help you folks. Cool. Now here, I'm going to add a sunburst chart over here. Okay. So let's select this data set, recommended chart and all chart over here. Here you're gonna see this option available called sunburst. The moment I hit that, you can see how beautifully my chart get presented over here, right? Mobile, India, laptop, okay, and the Asia region is like this, US region is like this, and that's how the data has been presented over here. If I change from top, okay, this data representation will change basis the requirement what we need over here. Okay, if in case you want to turn on this data labels, you can simply turn on this value and you can see the exact result over here, right? Now the last chart, which is the most important, and everybody asks this multiple times. I've seen that on Google's as well. It's truly trending, right? Called tree map chart. Okay, so let's go here. Simply first select this. I'll go at the top and recommended chart over here. Let's select this and you can see this tree map over here. The moment you hit that, now you can see how beautifully this data has been presented over here. Not just that, if you hover your mouse over here, you can see the entire presentation like this. And that's the beauty of Excel, folks. So now you are able to crack these 5 Excel charts inside the Excel. Excel tips and tricks. Don't forget to discover talent.
Have you ever wondered how to import a XML inside the Excel? I'll quickly show you inside the Excel how you can import that. Okay, here on the developer ribbon tab, you can see this option available, source. Simply click on this option. The moment you click here, you can see this XML maps available, and this is the XML record over here. Okay, right now we can see this is a blank available over here. Before I begin, I'll explain you what exactly it is XML and how we can generate our own XML inside the notepad. Okay, so let me just do a toggle over here, and here you can see this is the student's data for me. Student name, okay, ID is this, name John Smith, department IT, and then marks are so and so, and this is the overall table range I have created in one XML over here, right? Likewise, I have the multiple data set available, and this is how I have prepared the entire XML sheet over here. I'll move ahead. Here I can see this is the .xsd. which will help me to create a map accordingly, right? So once the schema is done, you just have to simply save this file in your desktop. Where I have saved this in a downloads, and here if I double click over here, I can see this students XSD and student XML over here. Now I'll just copy this. Okay, I'll come here and click on this option XML over here, right? The moment I click on this option here, I'll click on this add option, and let's add that path over here. And here I'll simply click on this option XSD and simply OK. And let's say OK over here. The moment I do OK over here, I can see your files we have created in the XSD, those are getting added over here. The headers are here. Perfect. And I can see if I double click over here, I can get those imported over here. If I want to add here as a name, I can insert that as well. Okay, likewise, I'll add the department and I'll move ahead and I'll add the mark as well. But now what I want to import the files, whatever data set has been added there, right? So in that particular case, I'll just simply go here, add again. Okay, and this time I'll select this entire students list over here, which is in XML. Okay, I'll do a OK button over here. Perfect. And the moment it's done, I'll just say OK button over here. Cool. And I can see there are two details available over here. Source has been getting added over here. What I will do, I'll just simply drag this here. And let me just add this as a naming convention over here, department. And I'll just move this like insert. I'll simply drag and drop inside the Excel. The moment it's done, at the top, there is an option available, refresh. You simply have to go at the top and click on this option, refresh over here. Boom, you see, now you can see whatever data set is available inside the notepad, which is transformed into a XML, we have simply imported inside the Excel. I hope you enjoyed this. For more Excel tips and tricks, don't forget to subscribe Discover Talent. Thanks for watching. Have a great day ahead.
Let me quickly show you one important tip inside the Outlook, how you can apply it, right? So let's go here in your Outlook, right click over here and create a new subfolder over here. I'll just type as CC and hit the enter button over here. Someone send the email and I am CC'd in that particular email. Those will automatically categorize and effectively manage in my Outlook. I'm going to use that rule function over here. Okay, so that's how you can automatize can make your email management more effective, right? So here right now we can see this is a blank added over here, which is our folder, right? The moment you click on this option, this is a manage setting over here. Okay, the moment you simply click on this option, rules over here. Okay, once it is done, select your email ID from here. Click on this option, add rule, and let me just add just a CC over here. And let's go here and wherever I'm on the CC online, I just simply add that. If in case you want to add additional conditions over here, so you can simply go here and add the additional conditions. Okay, specific email you want to see. Okay, what type of emails you get it with a specific subject line. Those also get captured as a condition applied inside the Outlook. Okay, once it is done, what I'm going to do over here is I'll just say move to here. Okay, so wherever you have the folder, simply just 3 steps you have to apply it. Okay, CC, you have to just add the name over here, add the conditions. Okay, and the third one is that where you want to do that. Okay, stop processing, more rules now. Okay, and run rule for now. I'll click on this option and I'll just say save over here. So it will take some time to run this particular email. Wherever I am CC available, those will automatically get moved over here. It will take some time to process. To avoid that, what I'm going to do over here is I'll just quickly cancel over here. Okay, stop and close this. And once it is done, I'll click on this option and here, boom, you see, I am CC'd on those particular emails. Those are automatically get added over here, right? Now here, if I test one email over here, okay, suppose this is the email and I'm just saying this as a email ID over here. I'll add this to the CC, paste, and let's say send over here. Let's see the email over here. Okay, so because we already turned that option on, here we'll wait for it, and the fraction of seconds you will see that email will automatically pop up CC subfolder over here. You see, those are automatically get popped up in my subfolder inside the Outlook. I hope you enjoyed this. For more office related tips and tricks, don't forget to subscribe Discover Talent. Thanks for watching. Have a great day ahead.
top 5 formulas will help you to make a business automation over here. Okay, so first we'll start with a find product using the order ID. Apply a XLOOKUP. What I want a lookup array. So lookup array I'm going to see in this particular section over here, which is this, right? So once it is done, I'll just say comma, apply the product ID. This is what I want. Cool. And if it is not found, let me just show the message, which is a not found over here. Perfect. And once it is done, let's hit the enter button over here. The moment I change this order ID from this to 2, it will change the result. Instantly finds a matching records without manually searching it. Now we'll move ahead and talk about show only a East region cells. To get that, what I have to do, I'll just apply the filter function over here. So this is the filter function. I'll go at the top, which is B2 to until D11. Okay, so I'll just simply select this D11, comma. What is the criteria? So criteria is basically for the East specific region, right? So I'll just simply select this all C2 to until C11 and apply the East region over here, comma. And if it is not found, let's add as a not found criteria at the bottom. And once it is done, let's hit the enter button. Here you will see only for the East region data has been pulled out automatically. The prepare customer list for emails. So to combine that, what I am going to do over here is I'll apply the text join over here. Cool. And let's say comma. Okay. And then once again comma, let's say true. Here what I want to combine, I want to combine this entire thing, which is E2 to until E11. Hit the enter button over here. Okay, the moment you hit that, you will see the result over here. Clear this out. Show highest sales first. So to get that added, I have to add a sort over here, and then let's go at the top, B2 until D11. Okay, range has been selected. 3. Okay, these are the 3 sort index, comma -1. Okay, and then hit the enter button over here. Now you can see instantly we have ranked our data from highest to lowest over here, right? Here we want to only showcase a unique customer name, and this is the always requirement when you create a dashboards, right? So this is what we're gonna use, a function called unique, and this will remove a duplicates value automatically. Perfect. You see how beautifully we got the result over here. Whatever duplicates were there, those were automatically got removed over here. Excel formulas, XLOOKUP, filter, unique, sort, and text join can automate your daily work and make you far more productive. Follow Discover Talent for more Excel tips and automation tutorials.
Excel can automatically highlight expired dates with just one click. No more manually checking licenses, contracts, or expiry dates. Let me show you how to do that. Okay, here I have a simple employee data set with license expiry date. Only you would have to check these dates each manually and check it which one is expired for the specific licenses. Okay, and imagine if there are hundreds of or maybe even thousands of records inside the Excel. Cool, that time it's a nightmare for sure. Instead manual typing, let's do this automation over here. Okay, press Alt and F11 from your keyboard will open the Visual Basics like this. Okay, so let me just open the another module over here. Click on this and click on this module over here. Okay, so this is the fresh module for me. Here what I'm going to do is that if the expiry date is earlier than today's date, the macro will automatically highlight the entire row in red, makes the expired date bold, and future dates remain unchanged. Okay, it's a simple, fast, and eliminates manual efforts over here. Okay, so here I'm just closing this and keeping this on so you can take the screenshot if really needed. And that's how I have added this kind of code over here. Okay, now let's run the macro over here. You either go here and create a button and then assign the macro. Okay, but here what I will do over here is I'll simply click on this option, run subform, or maybe simply from keyboard you can press F5. Okay, now here, perfect. You see, that's how beautifully basis the dates logic, it's been automatically get highlighted and dates are getting bold over here, and the pop-up I got expired dates are highlighted successfully over here. This automation is perfect for HR teams, compliance tracking, employee certifications, software license management, contract renewals, warranty tracking, and any business that works with expiry dates. If this Excel VBA automation saves your time, hit that like button, subscribe to Discover Talent
for more Excel automation, VBA, Power Query, AI, and productivity tutorials. See you in the next one. As promised, we are back here with another Excel automation trick using the VBA and Excel, how you can automatize your daily workflow. Here you can see this is the salary slip for Discover Talent. Okay, just a dummy numbers I have added over here. Daily regular activity is that I have to go here, file, export, and here create PDF XPS. Simply click on this option, and then what I have to do over here is I have to save this file over here. Okay, so suppose this is the demo one, I will call this as, and publish it. Okay, it's a regular activity for me. Okay, always do a PDF, go to the file, and then export and do this kind of an activity. What if I told you using the VB automation you can do this activity very easily? Okay, let me just quickly show you how we are going to do that. Okay, so number one step is that you have to save this file local desktop. Okay, you don't have to save this file on cloud. If you do so, you will get a OLE object error. Okay, the pop-up, you can see it on the screen, right? This kind of a pop-up you will get it. So avoid saving the file on OneDrive. Okay, now here the second step is that you have to go here in view, page break preview. First check the range of your printing area. Okay, if it fits well, again go to the normal section over here. Once you have the normal section, right click over here, click on this option, view code, and here you can see this code available over here. Simply take the screenshot as you do, right, and create a next automation workflow for your daily resume activity. Okay, once you create that, you either assign this macro with your button or simply play it from here. Okay, I'll not create a separate button over here. I'll simply click on this option called run over here. The moment I do, I will get this pop-up available, PDF created successfully. Now the question, right, where exactly this PDF is getting saved? Okay, it's very simple. First go here, file, info, and then this is the copy path option, or maybe you can simply click on this option, open file location. So wherever you have saved this template, okay, this particular PDF is also saved in the same location. Cool. So I'll just quickly show you file. I'll go here in the downloads itself. Here I can see my training, double click over here. So initially we created one demo. So demo we don't really require. We have created just now this as a salary slip. So simply click on this option. The moment I open this, now I can see how beautifully my PDF has been generated over here, right? Likewise, you can save ample amount of time there using this VBA. Okay, I hope you enjoyed this. Don't forget to subscribe us. More automation related tips and tricks. Don't forget to subscribe us. Thanks for watching. Have a great day ahead. Welcome to Discover Talent Presents, folks. We have seen this kind of a scenario multiple times, right? We have names, we have departments, but whenever we add the employee ID, that time we have to do that in a manual way like this. Okay, so I have to do it like this, employee ID, and then this one, let's say employee ID like this, to so and so forth. Okay, whatever employee ID characteristics you are maintaining. Okay, this kind of a manual steps we have to do it always. Okay, so but here what I'm going to do over here is, instead of doing this manual task, we're gonna create this automated flow over here. Okay, how to do it? It's a very simple task to do. First, you have to add your data entries over here, names and department. Let's keep it like this. Your column C will be a blank because data will be automatically pulled through the VBA. Okay, so you either go at top developer tab and then turn on this visual basics and then add that. If in case this developer tab you are not really aware how to turn that on, it's very simple. File, more, and options. Okay, when you click on this options, there is an option in the customize ribbon itself. Here, see, this is the option called developer ribbon tab. You just have to check that on. Okay, so your developer tab will on over here. Once you click on that, you will see this kind of options available over here. Okay, there is another method. Okay, just right click over here, click on this view code option over here. Okay, the moment you do, simply add this code over here. You can take the screenshot and you can also parallelly work on this to create a automated employee IDs. Okay, perfect. So I'm assuming you must have already did that. Perfect. So once it is done, okay, either you create a buttons and assign this macro, or maybe you can simply play this from here itself. Okay, now I'll not create a button over here. I'll not invest a more time there. Okay, instead I'll just simply click on this option, done. Boom, you see the magic over here. So instead of investing a manual effort there. We have simply added a VBA and automatize our one workflow over here. Okay. For the next Excel automation trick, don't forget to subscribe us because next one is more surprising. Thanks for watching. Have a great day ahead.
So if you have to connect the device, okay, to the Excel, then upload the data file, play the button and stop the data. Okay, what I'm talking about, basically there is an option in the data streamer. You can see this option available. Okay. Just have to simply first connect your device. If in case you have the hardware listed, you just have to simply connect that and then import that data file. So whenever you want to import a data file from your hardware, you just have to simply click on this option, import data file, whatever file format you have added as a CSV. Just a demonstration purpose, we can select this PDF and open this. Okay, so it will look like this over here. Okay, so basically this is the raw data set for us. Data in this, data out this. Okay, setting is this, and that's how it looks over here. And this is the manifest over here, right? And that's how you can see. You can import the data file over here. At the top in the data stream, there is an option called play data option. Okay. The moment I press display data, so wherever is the file we are pulling out the information, this will automatically pull out the result and it will show us inside the Excel over here. So let me just quickly show you how it looks over here. Okay. So simply click on this play data option and you see this is how the data is working over here. Okay. And we are getting the time in. Okay. And this is the time out over here. Haven't added any kind of VBA code over here. There is no automation over here. Basic option, which is the data streamer over here. We are using the data streamer inside the Excel to make this happen for us. Later on, you can create a dashboard using the Copilot with any other agent. Take a video call, how you want to use it. Perfect. And now the question, how to turn on this data streamer inside the Excel? It's a very simple task to do. First, you have to turn on this developer ribbon tab over here. Okay. So to turn that on, you just have to simply click on this option, more options. Okay. The moment you click on this option, there is an option called customize ribbon over here. Okay. Simply go here and turn on this developer ribbon tab over here and then close it. So when you open the developer ribbon tab, there is an option called form items. Simply turn that on. And here you just have to simply check that on, which is Microsoft Data Streamer for Excel over here. Cool. The moment you do, now you can see this option is available for you, right? You can also capture the screen and pull out the result inside the Excel. Where do we use this kind of projects over here? So basically IoT projects, Arduino projects. Okay, these are the sensors. Basically, we use the hardware and those sensors get captures. Those kind of sensors, we can analyze it inside the Excel. Raspberry Pi, weather stations, manufacturing, classroom stream labs, smart agriculture, particular real use cases, we can use this data streamer inside the Excel. If in case you want me to build a complete course on this, comment in the below section, data streamer on YouTube. I'll help you with a complete guide. Don't forget to subscribe us. Thanks for watching. Have a great day ahead.
Microsoft Forms and Excel as a backend, we can create a forms which you can share with a audience and collect the responses. So go here and make it forms training. Okay. First, you have to save this into a OneDrive. And once the save is done at the top, forms training, you just have to simply click on this option and click new forms over here. The moment you do, you will see this option available, creating a new form over here. Okay. It will take some time to load and give us the appropriate result there. Okay. At the backend over here. You don't have to click the backend automatically over here. The synchronization is on. You just have to simply click on this option, open form over here. Moment is done. You will see this kind of a pop-up available over here. Okay. Which is your forms.cloud.microsoft.com. Okay. And here, this is the kind of a navigation you will see over here. Collaboration is available. Let's say next. Okay. Perfect. Now you see there are different options available. The forms are available. If in case you want to create a quiz, simply you can create that. Okay. There are n numbers of templates available. What I will do over here is I'll just simply hit the survey option over here and create a survey accordingly. Okay. In my case, I'll simply create this and add as a customer satisfaction survey over here. Okay. To get the result over here. Option preview. I can see this is the form. And that's how I am submitting the responses over here. Let's say laptop. weekly. Okay, just satisfied, dissatisfied, blah blah things. Okay, you just have to simply give the submission answer over here. This is the rating over here, and I'll just do a next. Cool. Let's say Mumbai. In my case, you can be add as a different. That's completely fine. Men, married, single. Okay, let's say associate director, master's, doctorate degree, blah blah things. Say test. The moment it's done, submission, it will show me as a form submitted. I'll just do a back option over here, and once it is done, what I will do, I'll just hit the view responses over here. Now, the similar fashion, whatever we have did from Excel to forms, here also you can do the similar fashion from forms to Excel. Okay, what it exactly means. Okay, you can create a front end through a Excel, or maybe you can create a back end through a forms over here. So here, to get the result, I'll just do a continue with the Excel and click on this option, and whatever data set you have stored, submitted inside the forms, now you will get that included. It's beautifully synced with the Excel in real-time basis, and basis the data, later on you can create a dashboard and create a insights out of it. I hope you enjoyed this. Don't forget to subscribe us. Thanks for watching. Have a great day ahead. Welcome to Discover Talent Presents, folks. Suppose you have the raw data set available like this. Okay, this is the raw data set. You have it on your screen. Okay, now what you want, your leadership asks you to create a infographic way. Okay, dashboard, we know how to prepare the dashboard. Here is the best part, to create a infographic using Microsoft Copilot. Again, you don't have to do a manual task. Add the icons, okay, or maybe the go here and select any kind of a smart art and do it over here. Okay, here using the simple Copilot prompt, we're gonna make this raw information simply super premium. Okay, I'll quickly show you how we're gonna do it over here. So number one, what you have to do, first you have to convert your entire data set into a table. Once it is done, this is the step number one. Okay, and here you just have to simply click on this option called Copilot over here. Okay, if in case you are not able to see this option, let me just move this here. Okay, now you can see this Copilot available over here. Here there are three options available: add formula to column, apply conditional formatting, and gather insights from the table over here. So right now we are not really creating a dashboard. Remember that we need the infographic, okay, to visualize this or maybe to present for the client. So here what I'm going to do, I'll simply hit the Copilot over here. Now, if you have the question that this option is not really visible in my Office 365, then no need to worry. You can simply visit this portal over here. Okay, simply visit this link. And once you visit this link, paste your data there, or maybe you can attach your Excel and give this simple prompt there. Okay, so here we're gonna add a simple natural English over here. Our intent is very clear, what we need and how we need. Okay, and why we are looking out for this data over here. Okay, why is truly important when we are representing our data to the client. Cool. So I will say we have a client annual meeting. I want this data shown in infographic format. Color coding should be, I will say, blue. Okay, and text white. Make it vibrant. Enter button over here. Now what I have did over here is I have added the intent, okay, why we need this and what type of format we need to add it over here. In your case that can be different. Okay, if in case you are using the supply chain data, public safety data, okay, you have to refine your prompt accordingly. What type of business you are dealing with, you can simply comment in the below section, so I will also understand what type of content you are looking out from me in near future with the Copilot and generate a insights like this. That's how beautifully we have used sales data infographic way inside the Excel. I hope you enjoyed this. Don't forget to subscribe us.
If you want to create a issue log tracker like this, you can see it over here. What I have the ID available over here, date of raised, owner who have raised this issue, okay, and the KPIs basically, which are the open issues, which are on higher priority, overdue, and the closed issues over here. The issue tracker will help you to understand what type of issue is your team facing. Okay, it's a recurring one, or maybe you can mitigate any risk plan accordingly. Okay, you can see it over here, description, due date. Okay, and this is a formula driven, if you can carefully observe over here. These are the formulas, you can see it over here. You don't have to do it manually over here. Using the simple Copilot, now we are going to create this issue tracker over here. Okay, let me just show you how I'm going to create it over here. Simply go Control N and press it like this. Okay, so this is your Excel window over here. The moment you see this Excel window over here, simply click on this option called Copilot over here. If in case you don't have the Copilot installed in your system, okay, no need to worry. Simply you can visit this website over here, down over here, right? This website will help you to generate a Excel automatically if in case you want to generate that, or maybe you can just take the simple reference of the fields and simply paste that in your Excel workbook. Here we are not creating a template as an Excel workbook. Inside the Excel itself, giving the prompt to Copilot and creating a issue tracker over here. So let me just paste this prompt over here. The prompt is create a professional Excel issue log tracker over here. Columns are this, okay. And the resolution I have added over here. Again, the priority, status, summary KPIs I would need, and also add the conditional formatting for high priority, low, and so on and so forth, right? Once it is done, I just hit the enter button over here. To save our time, I just do a fast forwarding over here. You can also save your time to watch and what exactly that reply we get it through the Copilot over here, right? Cool. I can see a couple of entries are getting added over here inside the Excel, and let's wait more. Okay, so to get the appropriate values shown over here, I'll just close this. Okay, now I can see over here, this is the issue log tracker that's been prepared for me. Okay, I'll just move here. Perfect. I can see the conditional formatting also is been applied over here, right? So if I do this, okay, or maybe any other changes over here, I can simply add the date as well over here, and I can simply work accordingly, right? This is completely wow moment for me, okay, because if I do it manually, it will take hours. Okay, now using the Copilot, you can simply create n numbers of trackers, right? I hope you enjoyed this. Don't forget to subscribe us. Thanks for watching. Have a great day ahead.
Do you know the Muffin Man, the Muffin?
A tisket, a tasket, a green and yellow basket. I wrote a letter to my love and all.
Welcome to Discover Talent Presents, folks. In this series, we are going to import our JSON file inside the Excel using Python. Okay. Yes, you heard it right, using the Python. Now we are not using the external Python over here. Inside the Excel itself, you can see in the formulas, there is an option called Insert Python over here. Okay. We are going to simply use this particular option. Okay. How to use that? We just have to simply add is equal to and turn on this option called py, which is your Python. The moment you do, you can see this entire code has been available over here. You just have to simply call that out. Here, I'm importing a library pandas as a PD. Over here, df and pd, again, data frame. And that's how I have imported this particular files over here. Simply, you just have to mention those names over here. The moment it's done, you just have to simply execute those. To execute that, what you have to do, press Control Enter over here. Okay. And let me just minimize this. The moment it's done, at the top, you see this option is available. Okay. And here there is an option called Insert Data over here. Simply click on this option. The moment you see this particular option, a preview, here you will get the result available over here. And that's how beautifully we have inserted a JSON using the Python inside Excel. I hope you enjoyed this. More Excel tutorials. Don't forget to subscribe us. Thanks for watching. Have a great day ahead.
I'm taking shots at the
Welcome to Discover Talent Presents, folks. Since you have asked this question, how to turn on the Copilot inside the Outlook. So here I am. Okay. What you have to do, first open your Outlook. Okay. So here I have intentionally added my two accounts. Okay. This one and this one, which is our Outlook account. Okay. So if you see here, file, there is an option called account info. Okay. The moment you see there are two accounts for me, right? One is premium account and another is the normal account. Okay. Which we create always, right, in the Outlook. So here in the Copilot, if I go here with my normal account, I can see this Copilot will not support to my Outlook. However, if I go here and click on this option, here I can see this Copilot option is on. Okay, which means I can use Copilot while drafting an email. Always use a premium account to leverage the Copilot facility. Okay, if in case you don't have the Copilot inside the Outlook, no need to worry. You can also visit this URL, okay, and draft your email and then copy and paste it. Okay, the similar fashion you can do it, right? Here I'm going to show you draft instructions over here. Okay, the moment I move over here, I'll click on this option, use custom instruction while drafting an email. Okay, so tone, length and greetings, what type of greeting I have to keep it over here. Since this Discover Talent is for the educational purpose, so what I'm going to do over here is I just simply add this as a prompt over here, right? So always a custom instruction to my Copilot while drafting an email over here. Okay, if in case you need this tone, okay, you can just comment in the below section. I'll just give you this particular overall prompt for you basis your requirement. Like if in case you are an educator, financial advisor, okay, IT guy, okay, basis that you have to refine it and simply paste it over here. Just now save this and close it, press Ctrl N over here, okay, and I'll move this to here. Okay, I want to draft a email over here. The moment I click on this new, you can see this pop-up has been arises over here. Okay, now here I can see help me write a email to Dr. Vinod VW at outlook.com asking for the educational admission, I can say. Okay, so let's say admission requirement, something like that. Okay, just a demo purpose I am creating this, and I'll simply hit the OK button over here. Okay, let's say OK. That's how you can create a custom tone and turn on the Copilot option inside the Outlook. I hope you enjoyed this. Don't forget to subscribe us. Thanks for watching. Have a great day ahead.
Stop using boring Excel numbers. Okay, now here using the simple formula, you can make profit in green and losses in red. Right? How to do it? It's a very simple task to do. Okay, here you see this is the data set I have, serial number and companies. Here I have the Q1 revenue and Q2 revenue over here. Okay, to get the growth over here, what we're gonna do over here is we will just simply add a is equal to function, and let's say your Q2 minus your Q1. Okay, and this is how the amount we are getting over here. I'll just do a simple Control D over here. You can see it over here. Let me just adjust this. Now you can see this is very a boring number. We have to always go where is minus, okay, where is a positive number. Make our life easy. What we can do, formula, you have to simply select this first. Press Ctrl 1 from your keyboard. Let's go into a custom and here delete this all. And let's add this particular sign over here. Now you can see this has been ticker has been added over here. So whatever it's in green, it will show in up arrow, and whatever it is in red, it will show in a down arrow over here. You can see it, right? I just simply hit the OK button over here. Now you can see how beautifully it's been presented over here. Now suppose you have the requirement, you want to add the commas in between. Okay, that time what you can do, simply go here again. Okay, press Ctrl 1 in your keyboard and delete this and use this particular type, okay, in the number format. And that's how you can see it. If in case you want to take a screenshot, you can definitely take the screenshot. Okay, once you have it, simply hit the OK button over here. Now you can see the comma has been reflected over here, right? 1,250 and it's a green. Okay, likewise 1,100, it's a down like this. Okay, and that's how beautifully you can represent your data inside the Excel. I hope you enjoyed this. For more Excel related tips and tricks, don't forget to subscribe Discover Talent. Thanks for watching. Have a great day ahead. Automation, automation, and automation. We are hearing this buzz everywhere, right? So let me tell you how you can create a email automation system inside the Excel. Okay. It's again a beginner friendly. We are not going to advanced. If in case you like it, comment in the below section so I can create a next series for you. Okay. So here, what I'm going to do first, I'll select this top merge and center, and let me just call this as a email automation system. Okay. Let's go at the bottom here. I'll call this as a name. Okay. So this will be A4 name. This will be my email ID. Okay. And here I'll call this as a subject. At the end, I'll call this as a message, whatever body message you want to type it over here. So once it is done, what I'm going to do over here is I'll just increase this size like this. Here, I'll apply a color code over here. So let's go at the top, apply the color code. Here, this one, I'll just say darker blue, and this one is the white over here. If in case you want to add a logo, press Windows key dot. Okay. And let's say email. Add any kind of emojis over here. Okay, double click over here. I can see this being added over here, right? So related email automation system. Okay, let's say this particular title over here. This one, I'll increase the size over here. Perfect. And this one, I'll add the borders over here. Okay, so whatever message we're gonna add, this will be reflected over here. I'll make it bold. Here, the final one, we need to add one button over here. So let's go at the top. Okay, and you can insert the button from shapes. Okay, let's insert this kind of a button over here. Good. And let's say send the email. Send email. Okay. Simply select this, make it centrally aligned. Go at the top and change this appropriate color code over here. Okay, menu. Message, please hide any. Right click over here, view code over here. Okay, and here you just have to simply paste this code over here. Okay, you see, this is the code. You can take the screenshot if in case needed. Assign a macro. Once it is done, you just have to simply click on this option, send email. This is how the beautifully, whatever you have added the message, you can just modify it over here. Best part is inside the Outlook pilot option, auto rewrite and writing your email over here. Pilot, you can simply use it inside the Excel and Outlook. I hope you enjoyed this. Don't forget to subscribe us. Thanks for watching. Have a great day ahead. Inside the Excel, now we are going to create a barcode generator. Okay, using Copilot. How we gonna use that? So this is the Excel sheet with me. You just have to simply click on this option. Click on this option, which is your Copilot. The moment you do, you just have to simply type the prompt over here. So what is the prompt? So here is the prompt, right? So what I have typed over here, create an Excel supply chain barcode generator. Add fields like product ID, SKU, product name, okay, batch lot, barcode type, and barcode value over here. Okay. Use code 39 as a default barcode for me, right? Once it is done, I'll simply click on this option called next over here. Okay. And at the end, if you see over here, I have simply typed, make the workbook suitable for inventory, warehouse, logistics, and supply chain management. You can see it over here, right? It will take some time to generate. And let's see what is the result we get it over here, right? At the background, I can see it's been generating automatically using a Copilot, right? So let's see what is the final result we get it over here, whatever prompt we have typed in over here, right? If in case you need this prompt, comment in the YouTube section prompt. I'll help you with the appropriate prompt for the Copilot. Cool. Let me just click on this maximize option and I can see this has been generating over here. And it will take some time to load more and show us the result properly. Great. Now you can see this is how beautifully it's been generated over here. Barcode value is this, and lot, batch, whatever we have added over here, product name is this. Okay, we can change it based on our requirement, folks. Here I can see it's been added over here, and here is the instruction has been given over here. Okay, button barcode preview updates automatically from the selected product row. Okay, assign VBA macro to this button. Okay, so here if in case you want to assign a macro, how beautifully generated a supply chain barcode generator over here. If I move over here, you can see You can also create a VBA code using this particular button over here, right? So this button will help us to generate a barcode over here. We just have to simply paste our VBA code over here and we can add our barcodes like this. Okay. I hope you enjoyed this. Don't forget to subscribe us. Thanks for watching. Have a great day ahead. On the screen, you can see over here, this is the raw data set for me, like Jan salary and Feb salary over here, right? And here, total, if I do a total like this, is equal to B plus over here C. Okay. And I'll just drag it down at the bottom. Each employee has January and February salary. Okay. We calculate like the total salary like this, which we have did over here. Okay. When we drag the formula down, Excel will automatically changes B2 plus C2, okay, B3 plus C3, B4 and C4 and so on, right? And that's what we call as a relative reference inside the Excel. Now let's move ahead and talk about absolute reference over here. The same logic, if I apply over here, which is equal to B2, okay, and let's say into, and I'll apply this particular formula and I'll do a enter button over here and I'll hit a drag it down like this. What I'm getting over here, which is an error. We haven't fixed the appropriate location over here. Okay. And that's what the dollar sign comes in. Okay. So let me just show you how it gonna work it over here. So number one step is that you have to calculate the percentage. Okay. In the bonus percentage. So how to calculate that? Let's say is equal to over here, F2 over here. Okay. And here I'll apply the dollar sign over here. Simply apply the dollar sign over here. Okay. And hit a enter button over here. So since this is not in percentage, so let me just change this general. Okay. And that's how the 0.1 percentage will look like. It be bonus amount to be calculated. Okay. To get that done, what I have to do over here is I'll just say is equal to, okay, B2 and then let's say into, okay, select this. And once it is done, simply go at the top, okay, and press function key F4. Okay, the moment you press function key F4, you will see $2 has been applied over here. Right, hit the double click over here. And now I can see fraction of seconds I got the bonus amount done in there. Right? Now let's move ahead and talk about mixed reference over here. Here, I will take only one example. Okay. Rest of the others, we can create it and comment in the Doodle section once it's done. Okay. Equal to P2 over here. I will get the result like this. Okay. Which is wrong. Now, to get the accurate result, what I have to do, I have to freeze the specific line over here. I'll freeze this. Okay. So shift dollar sign and hit the enter button over here. And once it is done, let's double click over here. And now you can see how beautifully we got the result over here. The key points, remember, relative changes, absolute remain as is, mixed blocks only one part. That's all you need to master in Excel references. I hope you enjoyed this. Don't forget to subscribe us. Thanks for watching. Have a great day ahead.
Working hours are less than 7.5. Okay, it will be a red. Okay, so to do that, what I have to do, first I have to select a column H over here. Okay, so I will simply select that column H. Okay, like this at the bottom until this thing. Okay, because new entries we're gonna add it over here later on if really needed. Okay, so once it is done, let's go at the top, conditional formatting, and here highlight cell rules, and here less than, simply click on this option. Okay, and here you can see this value is already added over here, which is 7.5. so that's what it's showing as a like this. Okay, you can change the color code basis your requirement. If in case you want to go into a custom format, you can simply go here and change the color format. Okay, so I'll just simply say red like this and hit a OK button over here. Conditional formatting help identify scheduling problems quickly. Okay, because visually we can directly gauge where is the problem, right? So now I'm going to create a new table called coverage table. Okay, so time interval here in this particular sheet only. Okay, I will call this as a, okay, let's go at the top and type this as a interval. Here let's say required staff, in the third column available staff. Perfect. And the entry is done. Let's say 6 a.m. Okay. Here I will say 9 a.m. 6 a.m., 9 a.m., 12 p.m. Here is the 3 p.m. again. Cool. And that's how I have added the entire details over here. Now what we need in the required stuff. So required stuff is basically 5. Okay. Here I would need the 10. Here I would need 15. Next I would need a 20. Okay. And available staff, how many staff we have available? Let's say 6 over here, 11 over here, and here we have the 14, and this one is the 22. And once it is done, I will ensure that this has been less like this, so you can see the entire screen in one go itself. Now here I will say this as a coverage difference. Okay. Cool. So your coverage difference over here, so let's say is equal to your available staff is this minus your required staff, and let's say control D over here. Okay. Now you can see we are good with this. Now what I'm going to do over here is I'll just move to the next one, which is break duration. Okay. So before I jump to the break duration, so let me just explain what exactly the working hours doing over here is. This formula is calculates the working hours after removing the lunch break, and that's my actual working days over here. Cool. Now since we are talking about break duration over here, I'll go here. Okay. And let's say is equal to, and open the bracket over here, and let's say F4. Okay. Minus your E4, okay, which is your lunch start. Okay, close it into your 24 again and hit a enter button over here. Let's drag it at the bottom. Perfect. And the similar fashion, whatever we have applied for the working hours, we have similarly applied for the break duration as well. Let's go at the top, okay, and here in the home, and then change the number format, which is 0.50. Let's do a centrally align over here and remove one duration, which is 0.5. 0.5. Okay. Now, if you observe over here, if I change this to 12 and hit a enter button, now I can see the accurate value over here, which is 0.3 over here. Cool. Complete your call, which one we want to keep it. Okay. In my case, I'm keeping this as a 0.5 only. Formula calculates the lunch break duration, which is overall lunch break. So coverage status, in the coverage status here, I will say if condition. Okay. Let's say if, and H4, suppose I'll say H4, which is my working hours, which we have calculated just now, greater than equal to 7.5. Okay. So I will say covered, or maybe I'll call this as a under. Okay. And I'll explain you what exactly the meaning of this, and hit a enter button over here. And the moment it's done, let's press the control D at the bottom. Okay. If employee working hours greater than 7.5 hours, Excel shows a covered. Now I'm going to apply the some sort of conditional formatting over here. Okay. If each employee has a shift start time, lunch timing, and shift ending. I'm not going to add more entries over here because our intent is very simple. Okay. To understand how working hours, break duration, coverage status we are going to calculate. Okay. Not that how we are entering the data inside the Excel, that which I know you are pretty much aware how to enter the data inside the Excel. So focus on the intent. Okay. What we are doing it over here. So here, okay, inside the working hours, I'll just say to open the bracket over here, let's say G4, which is your shift end, okay, minus D4, okay, which is your shift start. Okay, let's close the bracket over here and add shift and asterisk sign over here, which is into sign over here. Cool. and add the 24, which is your 24 hours over here, minus, again open the bracket over here, let's say F4, okay, which is your lunch end, right, minus your E4. Cool, that's your lunch start, and then close this bracket over here and again do the into sign over here, let's say 24, and hit a enter button over here, and let's drag it at the bottom. So after you applying the formula, you will see this 12 p.m. over here. Okay, now no need to worry over here. Okay, your formula is correct. The issue is that your cell format in column H right now Excel is treating as a time value, not a number. Okay, that's the reason we are getting this value over here. Okay, so what we have to do, we have to select a column H like this. Okay, I have simply select this, and in the home here itself, in the home ribbon tab, we just have to simply click on this number format. Okay, click on this option and click on this number format option. Now you will see this has been 7.50 over here. Okay, so ensure that we are not keeping the 2-point decimal. Okay, so 2-point decimal we don't really need it, so decrease it 1 because we just need a 7.5, and that's okay to showcase. Okay, that's your working hours, which is 7.5. Cool. Now pro tip, okay folks, Excel stores time like 1 day is equal to 24 hours. Okay, and 0.5 is equal to your 12 hours. So when formatting is set to time 0.5, it becomes 12 p.m. Your formula is mathematically correct, only formatting was wrong, which we have just now resolved it. Okay, in the upcoming things as well, like break duration, even the coverages, okay, we might see this kind of an issues over here. This is the 6 a.m. for me, right? And lunch start at 10 a.m. Cool. I'll move to the lunch end, which is 10:30. Okay. Sometimes I have observed that, you know, in many of the companies it's a 40 minutes break, right? So if in case that is the case, you have to just change your lunch end accordingly. Okay, so for my case, I'm keeping this only for 30 minutes. Perfect. And this is the shift end for me. So I will say this is the shift end. Likewise, I'll just do a next entry over here, and here this time let's say 1102, and this one will be Sarah. Okay, and let's say team alpha again, and this time I will say 7 a.m. okay, and here let's say 11 a.m. space a.m. okay, and once it is done, let's say 11:30 a.m. okay, and let's add this as a 3 p.m. Cool. And the third one, 1003, which is this is Mike. Okay, and this thing I'll just say Bravo. This time in your case, your team, majority times I've seen that, you know, team Sandesh, team Rupesh, okay, team Suhani, you know, so on. So the team members' names are there. Okay, so in your case, the team names are different, right? Definitely you can add those. In my case, just for a demo purpose, right now I'm showcasing you this Alpha, Beta, Bravo, so on and so forth, right? So this is how I have added, and here let's say 2 p.m. okay, 2 p.m. okay, and here let's say 6 is the different shift time altogether, so let's say 6 p.m. and lunch end, I'll keep this as a lunch end, which is 6:30 p.m. okay, and once it is done for shift end, I will say 10:00 p.m. which is 10 p.m. and that's how I added the data entries over here. Let me just see what exactly is pending over here. Cool. So nothing is pending. Let's select this, centrally align, and that's how it looks for now. And that's how we have entered the employee schedules. and keep this text as a white over here. Okay, and simply make it center, so your entire text will look like in a center portion. Perfect. So once it is done, so here I'm going to add a couple of headers over here. Okay, so number one is the employee ID. Okay, and let's say employee name over here. Here I will call this as a team shift start. Okay, here I will call this as a lunch start. I'll move next and let's say lunch end. Okay, here I will call this as a shift end. Working hours and a break duration, and at the end I will say coverage status. Okay, so these are the minute headers I have added over here. You can see it on the screen. If in case you want me to reiterate once again, I can simply do it for you again. Okay folks, so what we have the employee ID, employee name, okay, team name, shift start. Okay, so this is the start shift in D3. Now here in E3 I have the lunch start, lunch end, shift end. Okay, and then in H3 I have the working hours, break duration and coverage status. So I have added the titles over here. So here I will simply select this entirely and let's say 12. Okay, let's make it 12, and let's say this as well bold, and this time since we are using this blue over here, I will ensure that this color will be a bit light than the top one. Okay, so let's say this one. Okay, and let's say white over here. Again, adjust this from here so you can see the entire picture over here, and select this, go here, apply the all borders over here, and that's how it looks. Cool. So always remember, so blue color we use specific to when we want to make a professional tracker. Okay, and white color goes with a vibrant theme as such. These are the main fields used in workforce scheduling. Okay, now we are going to add a couple of entries over here. And here, suppose I will say 101. Next, I will call this as a employee John, and let's say team Alpha. And this is the
Hey everyone, welcome back to Discover Talent. If you are in BPOs, workforce management, operations management, scheduling, reporting, or just trying your career in the WFM field, then this video series is for you. Today's video, I'm going to show you how WFM folks use these specific KPIs while creating a schedule for the folks, right? Complete step-by-step guide. Also, we are using the Copilot over here, how we can use the functionality called Copilot inside the Excel and make our life easy. And the best part is, I'm keeping this video series very beginner friendly. In case you're starting your career in the WFM, I think this video series is perfect for you. So open your Excel, grab a coffee, and watch the video until the end. So without further ado, let's quickly jump on the screen.
Hello everyone. Today I will show you how to create a workforce management schedule inside the Excel. We will create a shift in, shift out, lunch breaks, coverage planning, simple WFM calculation, and KPI related activities over here. Okay, why we are using this? This is truly important for call centers, and this time we are taking the domain called public safety. So yes, public safety teams, it will be really helpful. And if you move ahead and talk about operations teams, customer support teams, it will truly grateful for them, right? So don't worry, this video will be a very beginner friendly if in case you are starting your career inside the WFM part, right? If in case you are a RTA right now and you want to level up your skill, right? So this video is series for you folks. Cool. So to do that, first we have to open a Excel over here. Simply open the Excel, and here I'll be clicking on this option called blank workbook over here. Okay. And here now what I want A1 to until J1. Let's say merge and center over here. Okay. And the moment it's done, I will simply type as ABC as an example over here. Public safety department. Okay, in your case can be a different. For now I'm just adding as an example over here. Okay, and let's say schedule. Cool. And here I will say font is 18. Okay, let's keep it as a 18 for now. And let's say bold as well, because this is our title. That's what I'm keeping this. And here I will call this as a blue, which is this kind of a blue, or let's say which blue prefers over here. So I'll just say this blue. We get this kind of PDFs available, okay, every month. And what we do, we just go here and manually type the names like this: prepare, data case, study. Okay, this particular naming we do manually like this. Okay, what if I told you instead of manually typing this names over here, you can create one automated bot over here and get those names added inside the Excel. Okay, so let me just quickly show you how you can do that. Delete this first text over here. Now minimize this. Go here in your file structure over here. This is the path for you, right? So click on this option new. Click on this option new document over here. Okay. The moment you open this notepad over here, you will see this notepad look like this. Now here you can add this code over here. Okay. Echo of, and then your directory. Your directory is this is the path, the PDF particular extension, and you want in the CSV format. Okay, so once you add this particular code, your file will run. Okay, but here I'm adding the additional code over here. I'm asking this particular code itself, open the Excel, okay, and this particular file, which is your pdf_list.csv. Cool. You can take the screenshot if really needed. Here, once it is done, I'll say save as. Okay, pdf_list. Okay, and make sure you are saving this file into .bat. Okay, once it is saved, let's say save over here. Okay, minimize it, and if I click here my Excel, you will see that file will automatically show over here. Okay, to get that added, what I have to do over here is I just have to double click over here. Okay, it will run like this and it will show me the result like this. Perfect. Now if in case you want to split this particular text over here, simply go here. You either go to text to column available in the data, okay, text to column, and you can split that, or maybe you can directly type a name like this: introduction to machine learning. Okay, I'll go next, linear regression. Okay, as soon as I type the next name, I can see how beautifully the rest of the other text has been automatically get added over here, and hit a enter button. Now you see we have cleaned our data using the Control E function, which is your flash fill inside the Excel. I hope you enjoyed this. Thanks for watching. Have a great day ahead.
You can take the help of Office Script Gallery if in case any predefined script you want to run inside the Excel. Maybe if in case you want to create a recording and then you want to use that script, simply you can use that. Here we are going to create from scratch. Okay, so simply click on this option and create in code editor over here. Okay, the moment you do, you will have the pop-up available like this. Okay, so let me just open up this pop-up over here, and that's how you can see the Office script over here. Okay, so here the moment you see this is the pop-up here, let me just click on this option, new script. Okay, and the moment you open the new script over here, let me just delete this and add the new script over here. That's how I have added the new script over here. Here it's highlight the high sales which is greater than 500. Okay. So simply once you add that, simply click on this option called run. Okay. Let's run it. Perfect. The moment I run, now you can see whichever is more than 500, it's been automatically get highlighted over here. Often we need the pivot table inside the Excel, right? So this time I'm gonna use the pivot table using the automate script function over here. Okay. Simply select this first. Let's go here, create code editor over here. Okay. The moment I select this entire data in the Office script itself, I'll just clear this out. Okay. And here I'll add this script over here. Okay. You can take the screenshot if in case needed. Okay. The moment I run this, now you can see it's been automatically created the pivot table over here. And that's the power of Office script automation inside the Excel. Now let's move ahead. The third one, which is links data. Now we have seen that multiple times, right? Names is given and URL is like this. And this is the active URL over here. Okay. Doing this manually, it's a nightmare. If I press Control key and click on this option, okay, remove hyperlink, and then it will remove the hyperlink each particular URL. Okay. What if I told you using the automate Office script? Now you can do that. What I have to do over here is first select this entire content over here, go to new script and then create a code over here again. Okay. And then simply once we have this particular section available like this, I'll just clear this mess and then add the simple code over here. You can take the screenshot if in case needed. Once we run this code here, okay, now you can see simply the entire hyperlink has been gone over here. I can't see the active hyperlink over here. Even if I click here, it is not really working. That's the power of Office script automation. Okay, if in case you are not really using, start using that. Automate your daily workflow. Thanks for watching. Have a great day ahead. Stop scrolling. If you are still making Excel calendars manually, then you are wasting your time. I'll quickly show you how I have created this kind of a calendar inside the Excel using one simple VBA script. Okay, how to do it? It's a very simple task. First, let's press Ctrl N in your keyboard to open the Excel, and this is the new workbook. I can see it over here. Okay, let me just resize it properly. Perfect. So once we have it, what I'm going to do over here is I'll just simply say right click over here. Okay, and click on this option called View Code. Okay, the moment you do View Code, here there is an option available to add the code over here. Okay, to do that, what I have to do, I have to simply press this kind of code over here. If in case you need this code, comment in the below section on YouTube. I'll help you with the link. Good. Once we have the year planner code available inside the VBA, what I have to do over here is I just say View Microsoft Excel. Okay, I can click on this option. Now what I want this insert. Okay, and here I'll create a button over here. Okay, and let's say year planner. Okay, good. Just add any shape and call this out as a button over here. Okay, let's go here, right click over here and assign macro. So whatever macro you have created for your specific worksheet, you have to get that assigned over here. Okay, so in my case, I'll select this and hit a OK button over here. Okay, the moment it's done, I'll simply click on this option year plan over here. It will ask me a pop-up over here, which particular year we need the year plan over here. So since we are in the 2026 over here, so I'll simply type 2026 over here. You can add n number of years over here, okay, basis your requirement. If in case you need the previous year, you can simply add that. Maybe the upcoming future date, you can simply add that. In my case, I need the 2026. And once it is done, I'll simply hit the OK button over here. The moment it's done, it will give me the pop-up, your year planner created successfully. I can see it's been created over here. Good. And that's how beautifully you can generate n numbers of year planner for the specific year. Okay. I hope you enjoyed this. Don't forget to subscribe us. Thanks for watching. Have a great day ahead.
every time inside the Excel, we get this kind of files available. Okay, here we have the data set like employee ID, full name, join date, and department. We want to clean this data. Okay, there are three ways to do it. Okay, either you go here, data, do the text to column available over here, and do this kind of things. You will get these options available, and you can clean the data like this. Okay, and then you have to change this entire formatting. Okay, number one. Number two is that you have to convert this into a table first. Cool. And then there is an option called inside the Excel itself. I'll move here, data option. Okay, click on this option, table to range option. Okay, the moment you do, you will see this kind of an option available over here. Okay, and then you have to simply click on this option, delimiter, and the moment you do, it will look like this, and then you do a OK button over here, and that's how you do it the second way method over here. I'll just do a close and load option available, and that's how I can see the result available over here. Cool. Now the third method I'll quickly show you because it's a trending one. Cool. What I'm going to do over here is I'll just do a Control Z from this. This is the third method where we're gonna use a copilot over here. Okay, so simply first I'll copy the top headlines. Okay, I'll go here and let's say clean the data for dashboard or analytics. Okay, these are the headers, and I'll simply paste the headers. Let's say continue without saving. Let's see what exactly the result we get it over here. Okay, cool. So here with the help of Copilot, now you can save your lot of time there, right? Because earlier we were using the Excel, adding the formula, so on and so forth. Now here I can see it's been clean automatically. We just have to simply give the prompt, what is the intent, and that's how beautifully I can see employee ID, full name, join date, and department has been clean inside the Excel. Tell me in the comments which particular method liked you the most. Okay, Excel, Power Query, or Copilot. For more tips and tricks, don't forget to subscribe Discover Talent. Thanks for watching. Have a great day ahead.
Every month we get this kind of files available. Okay, you can see this is the one particular file, sales Jan. Likewise, we have this 3 files available over here. I'll quickly show you this, right? So that's how we can see every month we get these numbers of files available over here. And what we have to do, we have to compile that in the Excel. So once we have the Jan, accordingly, I will have the save file as well. I just simply open that. I'll copy this data and paste it over here. Okay, doing this manually, it's a nightmare. Okay, so here I'll show you the quick trick. Okay, so let me just close this particular file first. So now what we have to do, we just have to first close all the files, whatever we are appending over here, right? So once you do it, simply go here, create data, okay, files, and then click on this option called from folder. Simply navigate to the folder and simply hit the OK button over there. The moment you do, you'll see this kind of a pop-up available. Here is the path. See users, Dr. Vinod, okay, downloads and the power files. The moment you have it, simply click on this option, combine and load. Okay, have to simply press that button, combine and load. And the moment you do that, now you can see the beautiful result is available over here. Okay, I'll just do the OK button over there. Moment it's done, now you can see the sheet 1 is reflecting all the details available. Okay, let me show you how it looks like. Perfect. And it's getting the data over here. Now you can see here, Jan, Feb, March, we have compiled that data, fraction of seconds, right? For more productivity tips and tricks, don't forget to subscribe to Discover Talent. Thanks for watching. Have a great day ahead. Inside the Excel, now with the help of Power Query, I'm creating a cross join over here. Okay, these are the 3 tables available with the category, product, and region over here. What I'm going to do over here is I'll simply click on this option, data, and this table. Okay, from table range over here. Simply select this, and the moment I do, I will see this particular region has been added over. Okay. Likewise, I have to add other two columns as well over here. So I'll just simply click on this option, close and load. Here also product. Okay. And inside the product, I'll simply click on this option, data, tables, and range. Okay. So once you click on that option, I can see region and product has been added over here. Likewise, you have to add the another table as well. Simply click on this close and load option. Okay, here we need the category. Simply click on this category option and then go here, click on this option. Okay, the moment you do, you can see these three tables. Now these three tables are now added in the Power Query at the top, right? The moment you do, simply go at the top. Okay, and here add a column. You just have to simply add custom column over here. Okay, product. Okay, so we want a product to be shown over here. Okay, and click the OK button over here. And the moment you do, you will see this particular option available. Okay, if you click on this option, it will automatically expand. Okay, I'll show you that and hit the OK button. And I can see this has been cross-joined automatically, north, south, and this is the laptop, phone, so on and so forth, right? Likewise, if I want to do it for product with a category, I can do that as well. Simply go here, custom join, and here what I want a category. Okay, so simply select this and hit a OK button over here. Cool. And then you just have to simply click on this option, expand, hit a OK button over here. Likewise, I can see laptops against this furniture and so on and so forth. Right, I'm gonna do over here is I just simply go here and close and load. Okay, the moment I do close and load, I can see at the Excel those cross join will applicable over here. Okay, I'll show you that. So here product 2, I can see laptop and this particular activity. I'll move here. Next, here also I can see that result available. And that's how beautifully you can create a cross join using a Power Query. I hope you enjoyed this. Don't forget to subscribe us. Thanks for watching. Have a great day ahead.
Mobile Outlook, I got this email. Okay, so they are asking for the quotation over here. If you read out this particular email, usually what we do, we just simply click on this reply option and then we acknowledge the email, typing this text like this. Okay, yes sir, thank you for your interest, so and so, and we add a couple of draft as per our own verbiage over here. You can see it over here. I'm typing this inside the mobile. Okay, because we are showcasing the example how we can use the Copilot inside the mobile. Okay, and then once it is done, I can spelling errors are there and multiple changes are there, right? You can see the email over here. And now I will simply remove this, and here I will use the Copilot option. Okay, simply click on this option and I'll add the simple prompt over here. Okay, write an email for me, and whatever requirement you have, you just have to simply add that requirement, and that requirement will Copilot will understand the professionalism also showcased over here. The moment I do it, I'll simply click on this enter button over here, and once it is done, I can see how beautifully it's been drafted over here. And that's how we can draft and win the clients over here and make our business more effective. Once again, start using Copilot in your daily life. This will help you to boost your productivity. I hope you enjoyed this. For more productivity tips and tricks, don't forget to subscribe Discover Talent. Thanks for watching. Have a great day ahead.
The dashboard shows a significant increase in candidate engagement here.
Exactly. Subscribe now to discover top talent for your team.
Here on the screen, you can see I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, these 6 pages are there. I'm just zooming out this, okay, and keeping the option available over here. Cool. And that's how the overall MOU agreement I can see it over here. Now I don't have much time here to go with each particular document and read it, the terms and conditions over here, right? So in that particular case, what I can do, first I'll convert this into a PDF. Okay, you have to simply go at the top, create a PDF. Okay, once you create that, either you have this option called Adobe Acrobat. If in case this is not available, just simply go here, file, okay, and export this into a PDF. Okay, once you export this into a PDF, your document will look like this. Okay, here there is an option called Ask AI Assistant. So here I'll simply click on this option, summarize the key points for this particular document. The moment I hit that, I will get that AI assistant available over here inside the Adobe Acrobat over here. Okay, it will take some time to analyze our data and it will show us, see, to summarize the key document over here. It's an agreement of certification document over here. This is how beautifully, bullet wise, point by point items has been drafted over here inside the PDF. The similar fashion, if you want to do in the Word document, what you have to do, simply go here. Okay, suppose you don't have this option, okay, create a PDF, or maybe you don't want to convert that into a PDF Word document over here, which we have already open over here. Move your cursor right hand side, okay, and here you will see this option which is available in the Office 365, okay, which is called Copilot. Okay, so now we are using the Copilot over here. I'll just say summarize this document in 5 key bullet points. Simply hit the enter button over here. Now you have seen that we have already 8 pages across the Word document, right? The help of Copilot, now I can see what exactly the document is, where we have to more focus on, right? See the certificate validity enforcement over here, and then I can go at the top, purpose of parties, MOU, okay, agreement between Discover Talent and other company, okay, I'll go at the bottom, okay, so on and so forth. If in case you want to create an executive summary for your leadership, simply select this, copy this, and hit a enter button, and now you will see the executive summary will prepare for you. And that's how beautifully you can take the advantage of AI inside the Word document, and in the Adobe, you can use the Ask Agent over here. That's how beautifully we can take the help of AI to make our life easy. I hope you enjoyed this.
Hey guys, welcome to this session by IntelliPad. So in this session, we're going to comprehensively learn about the JFrog Artifactory. So before moving on to this session, please subscribe to our channel so that you don't miss our upcoming videos, and also leave a like if you enjoy our content. Now let's take a quick glance at the agenda. So we'll start off by understanding what is an artifact, and then we'll understand what exactly is an artifact repository. Once we establish that, we'll start off with what is JFrog Artifactory, and then look into the use cases of JFrog Artifactory. Once we learn the theoretical concepts, we'll move on to the installation of JFrog Artifactory, and once we completed it, we'll do an hands-on using it. And that would be the agenda for this particular session. Now, without any further delays, let's begin with it.
Now let's get started. What is an artifact and what is an artifact repository? The files that contain both the compiled code and the resources that are used to compile them are known as artifacts. Basically, whenever a developer writes his source code, he gives it to a build tool so that the build tool can compile that source code into binary code. This is because whenever a developer writes source code, he writes it in the language that humans can understand, a human language. But machines can't understand that language. To make it understandable for machines, the build tool compiles it so that it's converted into a binary code, that is ones and zeros, that can be easily understood by machines. When these binary codes are taken together with the dependencies and resources that are required to run it and put together into one file or packaged into one file, that one file is known as an artifact. Basically, these are readily deployable files, like an executable. In Java, an artifact would be a .jar file, or a .var file, or a .eer file. .jar files are basic Java applications, and .var files are for web applications, and .eer files are for enterprise applications that can be contained in EGB containers. In NPM, the artifact file would be a .tar.gz file, and in .NET, the artifact file would be a .dll file.
Now let's go ahead and understand what an artifact repository is. What is an artifact repository? An artifact repository is a repository which can store multiple different versions of artifacts. Each time the war file or the tar.gz file is created, it is stored in a server dedicated for the artifacts. Now, how we normally go ahead with software development is that we write the source code and then we compile it, and then the code is tested and then reviewed. And then if successful, then the code is sent for deployment. But with the agile tech in use, there'll be a lot of different builds being made every day, even within a single team. And each time we change the code, we need to compile the code and then deploy the build in the server. But there might be a scenario where the testing team or the QA team will find an error in the code, and now there would be a need for a rollback. For this rollback to happen, we would have to go back to our Git or whichever VCS we were using, and then remove the first commit and go back to the previous commit, because we wouldn't be sure of what kind of error there might be in the latest version. So we need to go back to the previous version and deploy that one again. Instead of doing all that, what we could have done is we could have stored our artifacts in a repository, and we could have deployed the latest version using that artifact of the latest code. And if there was any error, we could roll back easily by just going back to the repository and deploying the artifact that was previously used. For example, here, if you see that there's an artifact version 1 that has been stored inside the artifact repository, and then it goes for deployment. And then artifact 2 is stored in the artifact repository, and then it goes for deployment. And same with artifact 3, which also goes for deployment. Now, I suppose there was a need for a rollback because artifact version 3 has some error in it that can't be identified at the moment. But the customers still need to use the app, the application that is being used. So for that purpose, what we can do is, instead of going back to our source code in our version control system and going back to the previous commit, what we can do here is we can go back to the artifact repository and just use version 2 instead of version 3. So we could use artifact version 2 and then go ahead and deploy it. It's as easy as that, just going to a repository and selecting the previous version, so that the customer is still satisfied and we can look for errors in our new version 3. Sources versus binaries. Now let's understand the difference between source codes and binary codes. Source codes are stored as text, whereas binaries are stored as blob files. Source codes are diffable, whereas binaries are not diffable. What this means is that we can compare two different source codes as they're stored as text form, whereas we cannot compare two binary codes. Source codes are versioned by content and binary codes are versioned by name. Since we can compare the different source code, we can version them based on their content. But this is not possible in binaries, and therefore binaries are versioned by their name. Source codes are stored by override, but binaries are not stored through override. So what this basically means is that while using source code, when there is a need for an update, the current file is updated by replacing the previous file. Whereas in binary, while binary code is being used, the current file will never be rewritten. All the files are stored together. So when there is a need for an update, the current binary code will be pulled and the latest one will be pushed. Now that we have understood what an artifact is, what an artifact repository is, and the difference between source code and binary code, we can finally go ahead and learn what JFrog Artifactory actually does and what it is. JFrog Artifactory is a tool used in DevOps methodology for multiple purposes. One of its main purposes is to store artifacts that have been created in the code pipeline. Another one of its purposes is to act as a sort of a buffer for downloading dependencies for build tools and languages. So what basically JFrog does is it acts as a Google Drive for our artifacts. We can store whichever artifact we want in that and then pull whichever we want. Now, JFrog can be easily integrated in a code pipeline. As you can see here, what happens is, first, the version control will give the source code, the latest source code, to the build tool, and the build tool will build it and then produce a resulting artifact, which will then be stored in JFrog artifact tray. And if deemed worthy, then JFrog will send it to the deployment. This is all done with the help of the continuous integration tool, which could be your Jenkins, TeamCity, Bamboo, XL Deploy, which is software tool you are using for continuous integration. Now the first thing JFrog helps in is that it helps in storing readily deployable code. So basically, whichever artifact we create or whichever artifact is the result of the latest source code that has been compiled will be stored in the JFrog artifact tray. So like how we talked about an artifact repository, this is the same function that JFrog artifact tray performs. The first artifact version will be stored in JFrog, which will then send for deployment. Then the second one will be stored and that will be sent for deployment. And the third one will be stored, which also would be sent for deployment. And suppose there's a need for rollback because there's an error in version 3 that causes the application to crash, then we can pull back version 3 and then go ahead and deploy our version 2 again. It's a simple process of just selecting it. So this is one of the first responsibilities of JFrog, that is to store all the artifacts, which can then go ahead for deployment. And the second responsibility of JFrog is to help in downloading and managing dependencies. Since JFrog will be connected to the build tool, what happens is that whenever a build tool requires a dependency based on the source code, usually the build tool will download the dependencies. But in this case, JFrog acts as a buffer or a proxy for downloading and managing these dependencies. So if a build tool asks for dependency to JFrog will get the dependency from a remote repository and then will store it in a local server, which will be then used by the build tool to build the source code. So those are the two responsibilities of JFrog. First, it helps in managing and storing artifacts. And the second responsibility is it acts as a buffer for build tools to download and manage dependencies. Now that we've learned what JFrog Artifactory is, why should we use JFrog for DevOps? So the first quality that sets JFrog on the stage for using in DevOps methodology is its high availability, system stability and reliability with Artifactory high availability. The binaries needed are always available on JFrog once they are cached with it, and there is a certain assurance for their availability provided by the company. But the same can't be said about open source software, which doesn't provide the same assurance. So what basically high availability means is that whenever we are storing our artifact inside JFrog, we have a certain assurance by the company that has created JFrog Artifactory, that is JFrog, that our artifacts will be available all the time. And since we would be paying them if we are using the Pro feature or the Pro version of JFrog, then they absolutely have to give you the guarantee that all the artifacts that you need at the moment will be available through the repository. But the same can't be said with open case repositories, which do the same thing, because you can't ask them for an assurance for whether you will be able to pull the artifacts that you have stored in using their software at any time of point, because their website may crash or their servers may crash and you will not be able to pull it. And you can't even blame them for this because you're using their software for free. But since you're paying for the application, that is JFrog Artifactory, you can have an assurance that is provided by the company that your artifacts will be available at all times. And if they aren't, then you can hold them responsible. Then the next quality is managing binaries across different environments. As the number of projects in a company grow, it becomes harder and harder to maintain the number of binaries each of them use. To avoid chaos, JFrog manages environments and the binaries, which means is that if you have different teams working using different environments and storing different artifacts, there's a probability that there might be some chaos involved, that you might mix up some artifacts here and there. But JFrog assures that this will not happen. It has the ability to store different artifacts for different projects, for different teams in different places. So that such a thing does not happen. The next quality is security, access control, and traceability. Since JFrog works on caching assets important to the company, that is the source code of the software, it keeps the system secure and keeps track of metadata like which person logged in at which time and what kind of changes or activity did they perform. Since a company's source code is its asset, it's its most important thing, it's important to keep it safe. And JFrog helps in keeping your source code secure. It keeps track of metadata like which person logged in at which time and what kind of activities and changes did they perform. Having such kind of metadata in storage means that if there is any sort of conflict in future, then the party responsible for the conflict can be found out using this feature. Another quality is full support for Docker. JFrog provides support for storing and distributing Docker images through its repository, which is simple enough in the terms that it means that you can easily store your images for Docker inside JFrog, and then you can distribute it using JFrog. So basically it has a seamless integration for Docker. Another quality is quickly replicating remote repos in local area. JFrog is very efficient in replicating and storing remote repositories in short amount of time using check-based storage system. If one of the tools in your code pipeline wanted a remote repository for functioning, then you can easily ask JFrog for it, and JFrog can easily replicate that repository and store it in a local server for further or future use. It has support for Chef. JFrog has comprehensive support for Chef. This allows for creation of targeted configuration scripts that make sure only permitted dependencies are used for particular projects or environments. Since JFrog has a lot of support for Chef, it means that it would be easy to make targeted configuration scripts to make sure that only permitted dependencies are used for a particular project or an environment. That is use cases for JFrog Artifactory. So there are many use cases, and let's see what are they. First, it's Binary Repository Manager. As we have seen, it manages our binaries or artifacts. It's a place where you can store all your artifacts. So other than managing our binaries, it can also store all our artifacts. It's a proxy for remote repository, which means is that it acts as a proxy for getting those remote repositories. If a tool inside our code pipeline wanted to use a repository that is not inside the intranet of the company or of the team, then JFrog can act as a proxy and get the remote repository for the tool. Dependency manager working against, which means is that your dependency manager, whichever one you're using, will work against it when you download a dependency and will ask JFrog for the files, and when it does so, JFrog will get those files from internet. It's a place where we can store all our Docker images so that anyone who's working within the code pipeline can easily pull those Docker images without actually having to go outside. Artifactory integration, which basically means is that it has support for integration with multiple DevOps tools. If you wanted to use some DevOps tools that are not standard, it also supports the integration with them. It provides a faster release and business continuity, which means that you can install JFrog in multiple servers. It can be scalable. It has disaster recovery options and replication options, which are only available in the enterprise version, not in the open source version, since this is the feature that would be provided by the company. Orchestration tools. It provides support for different orchestration tools like Docker, Kubernetes, and Helm that can be easily integrated with JFrog. And it is storage ready, which means that it has the ability to store data in multiple areas like S3 object storage, which is a typical web service that lets you store and retrieve data in an object store via an API reachable over HTTPS. The service offers unlimited storage space and stores your data in a highly available and durable way.
Okay guys, a quick info: if you're looking for an end-to-end training in DevOps, IntelliPad provides that, and you can check those details in the description box below. Now let's continue with this session.
Now that we've understood what an artifact is, an Artifactory repository, using that knowledge to understand what JFrog Artifactory is and why do we need it in DevOps, and learning some of its use cases, we can go ahead and install our JFrog Artifactory. So let's look at some of the prerequisites of it. So before installing JFrog, we will need to have OpenJDK in our instance and have at least 2 GB of RAM, which means we'll have to use the marketplace CentOS. Now let's go ahead and create our CentOS. So we will go to our AWS console, click on launch instance and go to our AWS marketplace, type CentOS and then click on the first one that you get, CentOS 7. Continue. We will need to use tt.micro since it has the required amount of memory that we need, that is at least 4. Let's review and launch it, but before that let's add a inbound rule for all TCP anywhere. Review and launch. Use an existing key pair, click on I acknowledge and launch the instance. Your instance will be running now. View instance, name it appropriately. We will name this JFrog Artifactory. Okay, now we'll wait for it to get initialized so we can copy our IP address and launch it using our putty tool. Paste the IP address here. Let's make it a little more visually appealing so you guys can see it properly. 180 seconds between authorization, and so we'll go ahead and put our key in. Browse RAM key. Okay, open it. Click on yes. Login as CentOS. Okay, clear the screen and let's make it full screen. Our first prerequisite was OpenJDK. So let's install OpenJDK. Let's sudo su so we don't have to keep typing sudo. Clear. And the command for installing OpenJDK is yum install java 1.8.0 OpenJDK devel. Yes, please. Yes. Okay, our Java is installed and we have an instance with space of at least 4 GB RAM. Okay, now let's go ahead and install JFrog. Now we can go with two ways with this. We can directly install the tar.gz file, or we can use Docker to install it. Docker to pull the image and then launch it as a container. So for that, first we'll need to install Docker inside our CentOS instance. So for that, the commands are sudo yum install yum utilis device mapper persistent data and lvm2. These are the packages that we'll need for Docker, and press enter. This will install the packages that we need for Docker. Okay, now that we've installed the packages, we can go ahead and set up a stable repository for Docker. So let's copy this command. This is the command we'll need, and come over here to instance, paste the command and press enter. It says that the repo has been saved. Okay, let's clear the screen and go ahead and install Docker. This is the command for installing Docker in CentOS 7. Go ahead, paste it, yum install docker c client container.io. Enter. Yes, please. This will install Docker for us in our instance. Clear screen. Now that we've installed Docker, let's go ahead and start it. System ctl start Docker. This is the command to start Docker. Okay, let's make sure it's started. System ctl status Docker. This should check the status of Docker. As we can see, Docker is active. So let's go ahead and clear the screen. And now that Docker is active, let's go and get the command for pulling JFrog from the website. So go ahead to the browser, type JFrog open source. This will take us to their open source website where we can download all the open source softwares. So we'll click on Artifactory, and Artifactory OSS is the Artifactory open source software, and you'll have the option to pull the latest Artifactory Docker image. So if you click on it, if you copy the command and paste it to your clipboard, so you can come back here and paste that command. So the command will be docker pull docker.bintray.io jfrog artifactory OSS, and press this enter. This will start pulling the latest image for JFrog Artifactory OSS and store it inside your instance. Now we're using Docker to pull an image and launch JFrog Artifactory because it's much easier to do so rather than directly downloading it and installing it in your instance. Okay, now let's use the command docker images to check if the image has been downloaded. Yes, it's been downloaded. Okay, now that we've downloaded our Docker and downloaded the image for JFrog, let's see what the next command is. The next command is to start JFrog Artifactory, get the name of the image, pull and run it as Docker container. So we'll be running a Docker container on the port 8081. Know the name, Docker images. Okay, so Docker run -it -t -p port number 8081 name artifactory, and then the name of the image, and paste this name and then press enter. Now this has launched the container that has Artifactory in it. Clear the screen, docker ps to see which our containers are running, and we can see that our container is running at the port 8081 TCP. Alright, to access this we'll need to head to the browser and open another tab, copy the IP address, paste it, go to 8081, press enter, and this will start your JFrog Artifactory. And with this, we have completed the installation of JFrog. Now that we have installed JFrog, we can go ahead and practice. Now let's see what are the steps we'll be taking during our practice session. So the first step is running JFrog Artifactory and setting up the admin. That we've already done. And the second is using Git to get the sample code. And this is the sample code we'll be using to see how versioning works in JFrog. And the third step is to install Maven to compile and package the sample code. And the fourth step is to connect Maven to JFrog. And fifth is check how versioning works in JFrog. Now let's go ahead and set up the admin. We'll go here, come over here, and we'll enter the password and username. The username is admin and the default password is password. Now this is a generic one. We can go ahead and create a proper user later, but this is just for practice. Okay, now that we're inside JFrog, we can see that this is the dashboard, and before the dashboard there's a pop-up telling us welcome to JFrog Artifactory. Click on next. It'll ask us to configure a proxy server, but we do not need to configure a proxy server right now as we're just practicing. But when do we need to configure a proxy server? We will need to do so in case we don't have access to internet from the current server or system that we're using. Suppose you're working inside a company and the only access you have is to intranet on your particular system or server. So that time you can always configure a proxy so that you can access internet through the proxy instead of directly accessing it. But let's go ahead and click on skip, and then it'll ask you to create repositories. So the repository we'll be creating today is the Maven repository, because Maven is the build tool that is used to build Java-based applications. So click on Maven and press create. So it has created 5 directories: libs snapshot local, libs release local, jcenter, libs snapshot, and libs release. So the libs release local will store the war file, the snapshot will store the snapshots of the versions, and the libs release will store the dependencies. I can go ahead and click on finish, and then it will show us the dashboard of JFrog Artifactory. Now before we move on to our next steps, let's familiarize ourselves with JFrog a little bit. So if you come up over here, it'll tell you welcome admin or welcome username. If you click on it, it will show you a quick setup. It will show you local repository. If you want to create a new local repository, you can create it from here, or you can go ahead and create a remote repository using whichever package you want. And you can do a virtual repository, distribution repository. You can go ahead and do administrative tasks like add a user, in which you can add a user, or you can add a group, or you can add permissions to particular groups or users. Now these are the administrative tools, and this is for setting up repositories for storing your artifacts. Now if you want to see administration tools in more advanced situations or more advanced tools, you can go ahead and click over here. This will show you many more things to configure: general configure, proxies, mail, SSH server, security, services, import and export, and log analytics, system logs, system info, maintenance, and etc. And if we come back to our home, this will just be our home page, show basic things like quick search and the features of JFrog, and etc. And show you the last deployed builds, most downloaded artifacts, and etc. Now you can click over here and it'll show you artifact repository browser, where it will show us all the directories that we have created for our Maven. Or if you want to search for an artifact in particular, you can come over here and click on this. You can search the artifact based on the criteria and filter by artifact. So now that we've familiarized with ourselves with Artifactory, we can go ahead and complete the next steps. That is to use Git to get the sample code, install Maven, connect Maven to JFrog, and check how versioning works. So let's go to our instance. Okay, and let's go ahead and install Git in this. So we'll do yum install and Git, and let us also install wget. We'll be using that to get Maven. Okay, now we've installed Git and wget. Now let us get our sample code. So for that, we'll need to get the repository URL. For that, we'll need to go over here. You'll need this link: github.com, gkdevops, and pet clinic. This is where our sample code is located in GitHub. We'll go to our web browser, paste the link on the navigation, press enter, and this is our sample code with the pom.xml file. We can click on clone and download, copy the URL for the repository, come back to our instance, type in the commands git clone. This will clone in the pet clinic repository and paste the URL for it, and click enter. Okay, now that we've cloned the sample project, let's go ahead and install Maven also. Clear the screen, go back to our browser, type Apache Maven. We'll go to the Maven website, click on download, and come down and get the latest version and copy the link address of the tar.gz file. This is the one we'll be using. Copy the link address, come back to your instance, use the wget command and paste the link and press enter. This would have downloaded your tar file for Apache Maven. Let's go untar it. So tar zxf apache maven bin.tar.gz. Now that we have untarred it, we can go inside Apache Maven, inside bin, and see if it's working or not. So for that, command is maven version. This will check which version it's using. So we'll see if Maven is installed properly or not. And this will show us Maven, Apache Maven 3.6.2. Great. Now we have a Maven installed and we can use Maven to compile and package our sample project. But before that, we will go ahead and make sure that Maven is available to all of the OS. So for that, we'll be using the command export, and we're using the environment variable path and setting it so that all of the OS $, will be able to use Maven, not just from this position. So the command would be export path equals $path :/opt Apache Maven, wherever your Maven is stored, and then bin, and press enter. We'll come out of the Apache Maven folder, and now we will see if Maven is compiling our project or not. Type Maven compile, and as you can see, it's downloading the repositories from the central server, but this is without the help of JFrog Artifactory. Let's just quit. We just wanted to see if it's compiling it or not. We don't actually need it to compile. So we clear the screen, and now we need to connect our Maven with our JFrog Artifactory. For that, let's head to the browser, and when you come to the browser, make sure you're in the dashboard, and in the dashboard, go ahead and click on lib snapshot local. Now after you click on that, click on Maven generate settings. But before you click on Maven generate settings, you need to enter your password. This is how it will be for you, and enter the password you use to enter JFrog. Okay, after you've entered the credentials, go ahead and click on generate Maven settings and set up and leave the default configurations be, and come down and click on generate settings. And this is the XML file that will create for you. Now this is the file we will need to connect our Maven to JFrog. So let's go ahead and copy that, or instead of doing that, we can go ahead and download the snippet and check it out in the folder, open it up with Notepad and just Control A, Control copy. Now we have the settings. We can come back to our instance. So the place where we need to enter these details is inside the root folder. And now that we've had let's see which all folders are there inside. We'll do ls-a because this will show all the folder, even the hidden folder. And the folder we need to go inside is .m2, which is a hidden folder. So now we see that .m2 inside root folder. We'll go inside it. So cd .m2. Now we're inside .m2 folder. Now we will open the file settings.xml. Okay, since it's a new file, we'll go ahead and paste whatever content we copied from here. Okay, as you can see, we've pasted the content, and what this basically means is that Maven will be asking JFrog for the dependencies anytime it wants any dependencies. So anytime a dependency needs to be downloaded, it will be done through JFrog. And this will also connect Maven with JFrog. So the only updates we need to make over here are under username and password. Just enter the username and password that you used to get inside. That is admin and password. Now let's enter Maven compile. And now that we've made the settings, we can go ahead and try Maven compile again. And if we try Maven compile this time, we can see that it is getting the dependency using JFrog. We'll wait for it to get compiled, then I'll show it to you guys. As you can see, it's using Artifactory. It's not using Maven as for getting the dependencies. It's using Artifactory to get the dependencies. So now that we've connected Maven with our artifactory, this will happen every time that Maven builds a project. Every time Maven builds a project, it will ask those dependencies that it scanned from the pom.xml file to the JFrog artifactory, and JFrog artifactory will go and get those dependencies and download them into the local server so that Maven can use those repositories to build the file. As you can see now that our Maven has been compiled our project, and we can go forward and set up the distribution system. Now to set up the distribution system, we go back to our browser and come to our JFrog dashboard. Now click on libs snapshot local again, and we'll come down and we'll copy this part of the code. It will be used to deploy the war file or the jar file, whichever artifact you have created, onto the JFrog artifactory. So let's come back to our instance, let's clear the screen, and we need to paste this code inside our pom.xml file. Come down. Okay, we need to paste this code after the dependencies are over. So we'll need to keep going down. A lot down. Okay, so as we can see, this is the closing tag for the dependencies. We have to paste it after this tag. And now we will type the command maven deploy. This will upload the packaged file onto JFrog. Press enter. And now that our build is successful, to see whether the file was uploaded or not, we'll head over to the go to JFrog, click on the artifactory browser, home, artifactory repository browser, and in that, under libs snapshot local, if you click on it, you can see the artifact count. If it shows you, you can see how now there is 4 MB of 40 MB in artifact count. Now if you click on lib snapshot, if you open it, you can see that there is a folder created there. That is org spring framework samples spring pet clinic. And if you will open for 4.2.5 snapshot, you can see that we have our executable over here. That is the war file. So with this, we know that JFrog can store artifacts that are connected with Maven and that have been deployed using Maven or any other build tool. We just use Maven in our case. If you see JCenter is where all the third-party dependencies will be stored. As you can see, this is where all the third-party dependencies are stored. Now that we've seen that JFrog can store artifacts, let's see how the versioning works in JFrog. So let's come back to our instance, clear the screen. To simulate a change in the code, what we'll do is we'll go inside our pom.xml file and we will go and change the version. We will change the version from 4.2.5 to 4.2.6, and we will go ahead and write and save it, and we'll type mv deploy again. Press enter, and we can see that Maven is compiling the project again, running the test cases, compiling all the resources and all the binary code into one war file, then uploading it to the JFrog. But the only difference here being that we've changed the version from 4.2.5 to 4.2.6, and that change should reflect on our JFrog in the browser. Okay, now let's go and check it in our browser. Now click on lib snapshot again, open it, and open the org file. And now you can see that there's a 4.2.6 snapshot. So we have simulated a change, and now we can see that it stores the artifacts for different versions. This is for 4.2.6 war file, and this is for 4.2.5. Now suppose if we had an error in this application and we couldn't figure it out, or if we wanted to do a rollback, we can just easily come over here and use this file. As easy as that. No need to go back and change the commits and everything. So we've seen how JFrog works in combination with Maven, building a Java file and uploading the artifact. But JFrog can work with a lot of other build tools also. If you come and see here, you keep on going to the side, you can see that it works with NuGet or npm or PHP Composer or Bower and etc. So basically what we learned today in the video was that JFrog is an artifact repository, that it manages all the artifacts that have been uploaded to it, and it can have an easy rollback. And the second thing that JFrog does is it manages and downloads dependencies for your build tool. So guys, that's it for today.
Okay guys, a quick info, if you're looking for an end-to-end training in DevOps, IntelliPad provides that, and you can check those details in the description box below. Okay guys, that's it for this session. I hope you understood and also it was helpful and informative. If you have any queries, leave a comment down below.
Over here, Windows Explorer. So this is the new file saving over here, right? You can see this file. Just minimize it, and this is how the file look like. Let me just give you the overall glance about this kind of ribbons. This is called title bar. Okay, these are the title bar for you, where your name is getting saved over here, right? And here your profile name, what type of profile you have, and email address, so on and so forth. Here you will do a minimize and maximize. If you want to close it, the Excel, you can simply close it from here. Suppose you are working with the MNCs, you are working with the any of the college project, okay, and you want to work collaboratively. That time you will use this option called share, and you will share this Excel workbook to other person, and they can parallelly work on this. Okay. Also here you can see this option, get Excel mobile app. There is an app is also available for mobile. You can also do it Excel editing from your mobile itself, and parallel mode you can have the changes in place. This is called ribbon, file, home, insert, draw, page layout, formulas, okay, so on and so forth. Okay, each step I have explained in my previous video series, which is we have already spent 8 hours there, right? You can just go through it and just understand what exactly it is and how it works. So since you have joined this series, right, in the intermediate and the advanced level, we are covering the dashboard section, okay, where we will be covering this particular part in depth, where you will get to know what exactly and how we are using this home, insert, draw, page layout, so on and so forth, and what is the use of it, right? Here you may zoom out your Excel workbook like this, and if in case you have this vertical, you can just click on this option, vertical, and then this is the horizontal bar. Okay, you can just simply select that and you can just check it. Okay, and here it's a 100%, so we'll keep it as a 100% over here. Perfect. So this is the accessibility, good to go. Again, we have explained this part as well there. Here we always talk about automation, right? So here called developer ribbon tab. In your screen, in your Excel, this option might not be available. How to turn that on? Even those kind of shorts we have maintained in our 300 pack video series, where you can get to know that how to enable this developer ribbon, okay? Where you will do a automation for your team, for your projects, wherever you are working with, or maybe your startups, okay? Now I will show you how to close Excel properly, okay? You either go here, file, and then close on this particular option, or maybe simply click on this option, close, and you can just simply close this Excel workbook over here, right? You just simply click on this option. Majority times people don't follow this close, okay? So you can just disregard this part. You will just go here and just have the habit available for you. Just have to simply click here. Pro tip over here again, if Excel asks you to save changes, always click save whenever it's required. Okay, sometimes we work so hard and we forget to save our files. Okay, and that time our data may lose. Okay, so final wrap up. You have just learned Excel from the absolute beginning. You now know how to open Excel, understand the screen, enter the data, save Excel workbook, and close Excel properly. This foundation is very important. In the next sessions, we will move into formulas, data analysis, reporting, automation, AI, dashboards, and step-by-step guide. If you are serious about mastering Excel, the right way to stay connected with this series. This as a practice over here, and this is how it looks. Pro tip, okay, folks, whenever you add a sheets over here inside the workbook, okay, always give meaningful names to sheets. This becomes very important when you build a dashboards. Okay. Once again, whenever you add this kind of sheets over here, you just have to rename it and you have to keep a appropriate naming for this. You can switch between sheets by clicking on their names. If I click here, I'm in the sheet 2 now. If I click here, I'm in practice sheet now. Before going further, let me show you a few basics mouse and keyboard actions that will make Excel easier. Okay. A single click cell selects the cell. Okay. If I click on this option, okay, it will select the cell. Double click allows you to edit inside. If I double click over here, it will give me the edit option and I can change that. If I right click over here, okay, I will get a ample amount of options over here. If I select this and drag it at the bottom, I can get the dates change, month change likewise.